no.
No, come on.
Hey, Totes heads, it's me, Dan. I have something very special to tell you.
At
That
low
sounds really
volume?
creepy.
Cool it.
It's not as creepy as Dan is making
We're
it
gonna
to be.
we're gonna be. You can see us in person. You can come see us with your eyeballs.
Oh, okay. This is not getting better.
Totes Live is happening again.
Okay. What if I'm a new listener? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ooh, you're gonna like it.
Oh,
New
gross!
listener.
This is gross.
March 7th.
Yep.
Oh.
You ever heard of a movie called The Princess Bride?
Yes.
We're watching it.
Okay.
What?
Where are we watching it?
The Trilon Cinema. Yeah.
In Minneapolis?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yep.
live.totesrecall.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. Go there. We're doing a live show, March 7th, Trilon.
Watching The Princess Bride.
Princess Bride, we love you.
Okay.
Um.
Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast about movies we can't remember because it's been a while we watched them or maybe never watched them.com. My name is Dan.
This is Molly. Dan.
Dan.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this episode is Mary Poppins.
Yay.
Yay!
One that we have all seen.
We have all seen, or we think we've all seen.
We're very confident.
I'm
we've all seen
confident.
it.
Definitely seen this
Okay.
movie.
A classic from all of our youths and the youths of people before us and after us.
Yeah,
which is
that's
really
kind of
shocking.
fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also, you're welcome, Disney Studios. This
Yeah.
is, again, part of our ongoing guerrilla marketing effort
Yes.
to boost their numbers on their movie
Yes. A movie that I believe will have been released
for probably a month.
for like a while, a
So-
little while.
Yeah,
You know,
but
go-
it's like if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. It's
Yeah.
probably not in like the theaters, but like the other theater in your city that like
Yeah.
Oh,
shows
yeah, like
movies
the
later.
second run.
go to
Yeah.
the second run. They need business.
Yeah,
That's true.
Emily Blunt, right?
Okay, you guys. But the movie that
she's not in the one that we're watching.
Are
No, but it's-
watching.
Okay,
Let's make predictions about the one we're
great.
watching.
1968.
64.
66.
Ooh. I already want to change my answer. but I'm gonna stick with it.
67.
Wow.
Right. Those are our guesses.
Those are our guesses.
Yeah, that is interesting though to think about. There were generations of people who loved this movie before I ever saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think this is the first like childhood movie that all of us enjoyed during our childhood. Does that
Oh
make sense?
yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess.
But you know, like The Lion King, I don't have any particular emotional attachment to because by the time I saw it, I was like in high school
You
or
were just-
college or something.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Fucking
just a bunch of
cigarettes
dumb
on the
animals,
sidewalk.
right?
Yeah, it was a bunch of dumb animals and Elton John singing.
Yeah.
I was pretty jaded about it. But yeah, but Mary Poppins still holds this place of, I don't want to say magic, but I'm going to say magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Because it's cool.
It's
and who
magical.
doesn't dream of that?
Yeah.
Like a better parent showing up?
Right?
Oh,
Man.
yeah. Do they... Okay, so great parent, Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins is the nanny, the new nanny that's coming, right?
Yep.
Do these kids have shitty parents, or they're just like aloof,
They're
rich people?
Busy
Yeah.
parents.
I think
The-
they're aloof.
The dad is like a banker
Yes.
and is busy at work all the time, and he's just business.
Yep.
And the mom is a suffragette,
Oh.
so she's working to get
Oh.
the votes for women.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Which takes her out of the home
Yeah.
for very short periods of time, but whatever.
I have no idea when that was happening in England, because this play takes place in jolly old England,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
in London town.
Yes.
Gertie. And like here in America, did we do it first? Second?
I think
Honestly,
we're second.
I
I
think we
have
did
no
it
idea.
after England.
Probably.
Yeah.
This is probably like early.
1880s? 1890s?
Oh, really?
Turn of the century?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
thinking like
something like that.
1910s, but maybe
Is
not.
that America, though?
It was 1920.
I can picture the outfits because of the artwork that came out in opposition to the suffragette movement. And that was definitely pre-1920s. So
Wait, they made art in opposition to the suffragettes?
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
were like, look at these dumb ladies.
yeah, oh, it is
We're
some
gonna
brutal.
draw a rude cartoon.
Yeah, brutal editorial cartoons. Yeah, lots of them.
That's rude.
Yeah.
That is rude.
So yeah, I'm gonna say turn of the century, 1910ish.
Great.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Great.
But also they're of such a class that they would have a nanny, just like they
Yes.
would have a housekeeper.
Sure.
Which is also part of the reason that their mom isn't around.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it worked.
So mom and dad are out of the picture. Well, not out of
I mean,
the
they're
picture.
they're around.
They're out. But is there like do we see like an old nanny? Like on
Ooh.
her way out?
Yeah,
I think
I think
so.
so.
Like I've had it with these kids. Are
I
the
think-
kids rascals?
They
Yeah.
I think they're a little
They're
bit of
troublemakers.
rascals. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think it starts. I think that's how it starts.
Oh, there's like a mouse or something.
It's like they are picking on the. I feel like they're outside and they're like they do something to their nanny and then they're hiding behind a bush or something. Does that sound right?
It sounds like a
Sure.
lot
And then
of movies.
she's like, "You Banks kids."
Their names are Banks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, definitely.
And he's a banker?
Jane
Correct.
and Michael Banks.
Oh, on the nose.
Are you criticizing
Wow.
a Disney
For
movie for
being
being on the nose?
I mean, her name is Mary Poppins. I don't know. There's no reason.
You know how
I'm
nannies.
really racking my
You
brain.
know how nannies always
She
be popping.
Pops into the air with her umbrella?
Yeah.
I just thought it would be really funny to make you think that meant something.
I don't know. Maybe
It worked.
maybe there's an old British term that
Ew.
somehow makes
Oh,
that on the
Poppins.
nose.
But the way they find her is that they write a list of what they want in a nanny, and it's this adorable list.
yeah,
and
they
they
like-
come downstairs and ask their parents. I think there's a song maybe that goes
Yeah,
with
I
it.
believe
Yeah.
there's a song.
And Mr. Banks rips out the list and throws it in the fireplace.
Oh.
Those ashes rise up from the fireplace into the air, and then Mary Poppins magically descends
She's
from the heavens.
summoned by fire?
Yes, yeah. We'll probably talk about this a lot more in the second half, but like like she is like invoked
Yeah.
and makes her presence known.
yeah.
She has a magical bag
Yeah, and a
that
magical
contains
parasol.
Yeah.
entire worlds. Yeah, does the parasol talk?
Yes.
Oh, it's like the sorting hat?
Sort
little
of.
bit.
Talks?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
got
like
a little
it's a little
bird on
bird.
the end, and the
Beep,
bird talks.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
sassy. The
It's
bird's
sassy bird.
Wow, I don't
Sweet.
remember that at all.
Sassy bird brella.
Bird
Because it is
umbrella?
a full-on umbrella, or is it a
Yeah.
parasol?
I mean, I don't know.
I think it's an umbrella.
It's
Yeah.
London town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
'cause it's
probably
always
it's an
raining.
umbrella. 'Cause
Okay.
I guess because that'd make more sense because it's
Great.
London
They
town.
love umbrellas there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
We get it. It rains.
But
Yeah.
if we're trying to list the songs that are in this movie, that I think is the first song, the one where they're like ba, da, da,
List
da,
of
da, da,
things
da,
we
da,
want?
da, da.
Yeah.
I wish, your I wish song.
And that's the one that ends with Jane and Michael Banks.
Because they signed the letter.
Yep.
Nice.
Cool.
Adorable.
Then what happens?
Okay, so then they're like, we're stinkers, and we're going to be a stinker to the new nanny. And then Mary Poppins takes no shit.
Oh, yeah. She
Yeah.
like brings the heat, right?
Yeah, but she does it
But
in
she
like
also
a...
brings the sugar.
Yeah, it's like,
A
I feel
spoonful.
like
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to dance bet. She
Spoiler.
starts out where like her assertiveness is interpreted by the children as her being like a mean old biddy, like most of their nannies. But it's really just her like setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then once they warm up to her, she's like, here, let's have fun and like do fun things that are magical.
And they
Yeah.
are.
They are magical.
And there's an animated sequence with penguins.
Yes.
I'm getting
Oh,
a little
yeah.
ahead, but that is really fun.
It
There's
is really
a
fun.
yeah, it's
A
weird,
chimney
right?
sweep who I have based all of my British accents on.
Right.
Dick Van Dyke.
Yes, Dick
British
Van
accent?
Dyke's.
Dick Van Dyke famously
So many things
Terrible.
make sense.
Yes.
Cockney
famous,
accent.
famous great accent of Dick Van Dyke.
It was probably my first exposure.
Yeah.
So,
to Cockney.
Mary right.
Poppins.
Oh,
who
it's
wants
me.
a chimney sweep?
Yep.
I
Oh.
do.
I wonder if that's true of like most Americans.
Yes,
Oh,
probably.
God bless
Oh,
us.
Like-
that's what England sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or England.
But
Yep.
he knows Mary Poppins.
Yeah, they're like old friends.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that they be
Oh.
banging.
We will talk about
I
it.
would believe it.
Wow.
Like they have a.
Are you pre-invoking?
Yes.
Did they bang for the second half?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Because there's no way that they. I mean, they have some sort of flirtation relationship
Sure.
going on that has indicated. It indicates to me like they've known each other
Biblically.
biblically.
Wow.
Prior
I mean, he
to.
is like, if I recall, he is like the only adult in the movie that she seems to have like anything resembling respect for.
What about the uncle?
Who?
The laughing uncle.
There's a
Oh.
laugh.
I guess she doesn't. She's mad at
She's
him
just
for
kind of like,
laughing.
yeah, she's just kind of she's sort of just like using him as a foil to like screw with the dad.
I don't remember Laughing Uncle
Is
at all.
is there a drunk in this
Yeah.
movie? Is
Laughing
that the
Uncle,
same?
right?
Is he
Okay. Is
laughing
that the same?
Okay.
I think. No, is he like? He's like, yeah, because when they get there, he's like, I love to laugh, and then they all float up on the ceiling,
Right.
and then to get down, they start saying things that are sad.
Yes.
Oh, instead of burping,
But is
like
he-
in
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe he's not drunk. They're drinking tea for sure,
Mm,
right?
I'm into that.
I'm sure you are.
wow.
I still feel like there's a drunk character. Like in the
Sure.
docks. Like they're on the docks.
Oh, sure. And like they see a woman floating by. She's like, "Oh, I gotta stop drinking this slop for the.
Yeah.
It's like a
I'll
drunk
never
nanny.
drink again."
Just like, yeah. Like
Goo?
that. Yeah, like a Looney Tunes character.
Yeah.
Red nose.
Yeah.
You know, a big jug with
Right.
an X on it.
And then a woman flies by on an umbrella.
Did England ever have a time of prohibition?
Ooh, great question.
Yeah, they love their gin.
Well, so does America.
Yeah, but we also like telling people what to do.
Well,
That's
So
true.
does
that's
England.
the truth.
Yeah. They were really good at
Jeez.
it for a while there.
No, I
That's a
don't know.
great question.
I'm gonna guess. If I had to guess, I would say no. But even saying that out loud, I feel nervous.
I'm sure there was like at least like a temperance movement that maybe
Oh,
didn't
sure.
Yeah.
didn't quite
Sure.
succeed as much as in America.
But like, Parliament's drunk half the time anyway, right?
Yeah, right?
Come
Wow.
on,
Hey.
Anglos.
Ah.
Wow.
Oh, the House of Lords, isn't it?
Why would the House of
Oh.
Lords talk like that?
Oh, I've got
None of the House of Lords would have that accent. Come on.
Glug, glug, glug.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
I'm gonna get some angry English letters.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Come at us.
Yeah.
Hey, USA, we won that war. Am I right?
Yeah. Plus, your
We-
tweets are a lot slower because you got to put a lot of U's in all your words.
What?
Like, think about it. An American and a Brit tweeting out, hey, what color is that?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite color?
Yeah.
America's going to win every time because it's one less letter.
Tweet race?
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's what counts in this
That's
modern
what
age.
That's kind of true.
Oh, shake it off. Shake it off.
Boy. Okay.
There's that one where they have to clean up their bedroom.
Are we doing songs
I'm,
now?
I'm basing the entire like
Beth
off of
wants
the
to do
songs I
songs.
can remember.
Got it.
Because they have to clean up their bedroom, and it's like for every job that must be done, there's a this and find the name.
Okay, great.
That's a great
Okay.
song.
And then, do we get to
Spoonful of
Spoonful of
sugar.
Sugar? That's the
That
one I know.
happens.
Spoonful of Sugar, where she is
Yes.
convincing them to take probably like what, some horrible opiate that's illegal now, right?
By
Or
the way,
like
we're
fish
doing a
oil.
cover album of all
Yes.
the songs.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's a chimney
oh.
sweep song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chim,
and a dance.
Chim, chimney, chim, chim, chimney.
Yep.
It's me, I'm on chimney.
I thought that
sweep,
was one of the
let's
coolest
bang
parts
a
of
roo.
Magic.
What?
When they're like using, when they're like shaping the smog and using it like steps and stuff. That's super
Step in
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Step in time.
Is that the same song?
Step in time.
Sounds like it's not the same
Wow, a lot of
Step in
songs in
time.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a musical.
Get ready.
Supercalifragilistic.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
expialidocious.
Hold on.
Wow.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Nailed it.
Great.
Uh,
I'm sure there's one at the end that's like, and now our parents love each
Oh,
other.
let's go fly a kite.
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
Mr.
That's one of my
Banks learns
favorites.
to love
Fly a
fun
kite.
again
Yes.
or whatever. Yes.
They go to, what, Piccadilly Circus or something?
Feed the
No.
birds.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the supercalifragilistic.
Is that Trafalgar Square?
What?
I don't know.
Mm.
Just naming London.
Yeah,
town
we're just
stuff.
naming things in England now.
Oh, Big Ben.
Yep.
That's a thing.
Oh,
Double
boy.
decker bus.
Oh, boy.
Fish and chips.
Oh, the Tower of
Telephone booth.
London.
What'd you say?
Telephone booth?
Just
yeah.
telephone booth?
They have like red telephone booths.
Yeah.
All right.
They're
Police
everywhere.
cars.
Oh, how about a pub?
Oh,
I know about
Oh.
England.
Jesus.
This is terrible.
Chris-
I-
Fish and chips.
Oh man, somebody doing about America would just be amazing.
Oh, it'd
be
be
terrible. Like
very
McDonald's.
depressing.
Cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Ooh,
6 shooters.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Hey.
Killing buffalo.
Oh man.
no.
Wow.
Sorry, I just read a really
mean,
long
when
Western book and I'm
I
real
can-
bummed out.
Well,
There's a song called Feed the Birds.
yeah.
Oh, what's that about?
Feeding birds.
Feeding birds. There's that one about the bank. That
What?
there's like a run on the bank at some
Oh,
point.
wow.
is there a bank?
What?
Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
And they're
also
like
don't
trying to get
Is it Wonderful
Michael to
Life?
like put his money into the bank. He
Is
has like
Michael
a
the kid?
Yeah.
yeah. And
give
it's
me your
also played by Dick
shillings.
Van Dyke as like the old banker. And he's
Yeah.
like trying to get him to give him his money. He's like, I won't give you my money. And then all the people are like, give me back my money.
Wow.
Oh,
Just
so
two-
Michael causes a run on the bank,
Yeah.
which would upset Mr. Banks greatly.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ah, lots of trouble.
So we're
I
doing
get it.
2 movies in a row with financial
Yeah,
insolubility.
I
Yep.
feel like there's less of it in this movie though, because a lot of it's just like, hey, these kids are having fun with this magical lady.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
cool.
So there's a
By
bank
the way,
song
it's
though?
played by Julie Andrews.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
a
Van
delight.
Dyke.
She is
Who
a
else
delight.
is in it? Edwin is somebody.
I don't know.
All right, done.
I
All
think
right.
we got the main things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but speaking of women,
Oh, it does pass the Bechdel.
yeah,
Yes.
for sure, right? There's
Yes.
like a girl child,
Yeah.
and it's like
Well, yeah,
Mary
but also
Poppins is
Mrs.
there.
Banks is definitely
Yeah.
going to talk with Mary
Oh, there's a
Poppins.
suffragette song.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
jeez, this is song of plenty.
It's
Yeah.
packed. Our cup runneth
And is
over.
that one has a pretty sick burn in it for men.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Looking
Love
forward
it.
to that.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get burned.
Get burned.
Is that all the songs?
Is there like a goodbye, Mary Poppins? She leaves at the end, right? It's like, now I've formed you into children.
Well, it's more
Peace.
like I've created an actual familial bond between you and your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, she's just there to like check it out. Maybe
She's
parent
there
your
to
own
help
children.
the family.
Yeah. Well, it's more
She's helping the kids and she's helping the parents.
because both of them, they don't see eye to eye in like how life should
Oh.
be. Because Mr. Banks is like business, 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 and kids are like, oh, but Daddy, we want to have fun and see our parents sometimes.
Yeah, and this is before Chinese restaurants, so they can't go to one and swap
Right.
places.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
got
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
the original Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is before
You had to get a
this is
witch to
before
cook
like
that.
the economy had gone completely global,
Yeah.
where trade routes were still probably being worked out a little bit, like export with China.
Yeah.
You know, so they had to go with their local, maybe demonic creatures.
Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
great.
So they understand each other. Her work is done.
Yep.
Off on her umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she apparently returns December, whatever.
Yeah,
You're
go.
welcome, Disney.
Have seen it. Go to your second run theater.
Because that's actually what the movie's called, right? Like this is specifically they're
Second
saying
run?
no, like they're explicitly saying like she's back. This is the same character. It doesn't matter that she looks different.
Oh.
The first movie happened, right?
I don't
This
know.
is not like a reboot.
Oh, I thought it was a reboot.
I think it's like
Or
I
it's a
feel like
remake.
I have seen the word returns on
Yeah.
Instagram ads.
Wow.
Oh, so maybe she's helping a different family.
yeah. I mean,
Or is she
that's
back
fun.
in their teens?
I think they're
like-
more than teens.
They're like,
What do you mean
Oh,
they're
wait, do they
more
have
than
kids of
teens?
their own?
Like they have kids of their own. Yeah.
Oh, so
Oh.
it's like when Peter Pan when Wendy gets older.
Yeah. I think.
Okay. Well,
I don't
neat.
know. I've literally seen one commercial. There's
an
an
effective
adult
commercial.
that says like, "We remember when Mary Poppins was blah blah blah." So clearly, some of the adult characters have interacted with Mary Poppins before.
Oh, wow.
So it's probably the kids.
It's probably the kids growing up as adults.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, terrific. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing both movies.
Ooh.
Yes. This one right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am ready.
Ooh.
And then also go see Julie Andrews as a giant fish, I guess,
Yes.
in
What?
Aquaman.
Julie Andrews could not be
Oh.
bothered to get a shit ton of money to make a cameo in the Mary Poppins movie, but she did agree to, I assume, a much smaller amount of money to voice some kind of magic fish creature in the Aquaman movie.
Wow.
Because she is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
It is. Wow.
She has not apparently been on screen since she was opposite Dwayne The Rock Johnson in The Tooth Fairy. That's her last on-camera role.
Whoa.
Is that true?
That's what I read.
That's
Well,
amazing.
something happened with her voice.
Oh, no.
Like
Yeah.
she can't sing anymore or something
Yeah, it got-
sad.
She can voice a fish, though.
Yeah.
She was fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, how bad did her voice get? Is that why they cast her as a weird fish monster?
She just
No,
sounds
I
like she's
think it's like
constantly drowning.
Aquaman.
I think it's normal,
You
but like,
have
she
to
just
st-
can't. Like the volume,
Oh,
she
sure.
can't project.
Yeah.
She's got like nodes.
I mean, she has an
or
incredible
something.
voice.
Anyway, she's a delight.
She is a delight.
Let's establish that.
Let's get
Yeah.
ready to be delighted.
I'm ready.
I'm so ready. Dan's bet. There is a there's a fun group, or like I think there's a comic duo that just sort of reacts to things like Statler and Waldorf and the Muppets.
Oh, are
And
they drunk?
Maybe they sit on top of a tower and they shoot a gun for some reason at a certain
Oh, there
time
is a
of day.
gun tower. No, it's one guy though.
It's just one guy.
It's
I
that
thought
one
it was
guy,
two guys.
and he's on the Widow's Walk on top of his house.
Okay.
And he's a captain.
Yes.
He's a captain, and he's
Oh.
like a widower or something. But he shoots a gun
Doesn't
like
he
a
have
short
like
time.
a?
He's
Doesn't he have
got
like an underling or
sidekick?
something? Yeah.
Oh,
I thought he had a
maybe.
sidekick.
He's got a real fun coat, right?
Well, sure.
I would assume so.
I don't remember the coat.
I remember this now that you say it, but I can't remember any other details.
It's the very beginning.
I'm gonna say blue coat.
Okay.
It's like what they see before they pan down to the rest of the city or the town.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, London, but you know what I mean. That section of it.
Yeah.
There's some wackadoo side characters, is what I'm saying.
And I also I'm looking forward to the colors and the way they're saturated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited.
I feel like when they go to like the horse races, it's like the carousel that's the horse races.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like one of those characters is drunk.
Okay.
Probably the horse.
A lot of potential drunk characters.
Definitely
Yes.
the horse.
Yeah. Maybe it's more like the drunk count.
There
more
may
than...
even be a drunk tune. Toon.
Oh,
Do we write down the
Is-
one that's like, "It's a jolly holiday with Mary"?
No.
No.
There's another song.
Jolly
Oh,
Holiday.
damn.
So many songs.
Is this going to be problematic at all?
Ooh, great question.
It feels like there's some problems in the animated section to me. I can't remember what they are or tell you or even really guess.
Yeah.
But it just feels like there's some problematic cartoons in there.
Mm-hmm. Just because it's an animated segment in a movie from the 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just penguins dancing.
There's
Okay.
other characters.
I
I
mean,
mean, there's
I-
probably some sort of like weird like treatment of women in it, and I would say it's problematic, and then there are probably no people of color at
Yeah.
all.
Or there are,
Sure.
and it's interesting design choices.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't,
We'll see.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
but I don't know that there are any like whoa, that's a really racist
Yeah.
stereotype or anything like that.
Yeah.
We will find out.
Yeah, I
that.
guess.
Has anyone else seen Saving Mr. Banks? The
No,
movie
what is
about the making of Mary Poppins?
This is a docu?
Oh,
No.
Oh.
No.
I saw the one about Peter Pan.
T.
No.
Hanks, right?
I'm sorry?
Is Tom Hanks
Yeah,
in it?
Tom Hanks plays Disney
Okay.
himself, Walt
Walt.
Disney. Mm-hmm. And it's half a great movie
Okay.
because it shows who's the writer of Mary Poppins? I can't think of her name right now.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Was this a book?
What? What are you talking about now?
Was Mary Poppins a book?
Yes, it
Okay.
started as a book.
There we go.
And Walt Disney was determined to make it into a film adaptation. But she was very reluctant.
Who's playing her in this movie?
Meryl Streep? No. Yes?
No, because
No.
they hadn't worked together till The Post, right?
Oh, right.
Isn't that a fact?
That seems like a fact.
Isn't it?
Hey, is that a fact? Tweet at us.
Tweet at
Hashtag
us.
fact, no fact.
I don't remember.
Okay, great.
But they
Wow.
they cut
Hashtag
between her time at the Disney Studios and her time growing up.
Uh-huh.
And her own father was a banker and a drunk.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yep. And it just alcohol kept getting in the way of his success. And his family suffered from that more and more and more, getting pushed out to smaller and smaller branches, further and further away from family and friends. And her mom was really miserable. And some other stuff happens. Anyway, so it's all about that. All of those flashbacks to Australia, I found really sad and depressing and hard to watch. And then all of the stuff that happened in Disney Lot was actually very entertaining and very interesting. But basically, the woman who wrote this, and I'm going to kick myself as soon as we get off this podcast because I'll remember, did not want any animation.
Oh.
Like, it kept threatening to shut it down. She did not want the color red
What?
to appear at
What?
any time in the town.
Isn't that
So
kite
no
red?
toll booths, like no phone booths that were red. She didn't want a lot of the songs. She felt like a lot of the songs were super silly. And
The
then
story's pretty silly.
yeah. And she was really upset, and this is all in the film depiction. I don't know this person personally or know what actually happened. But she was very upset that they didn't understand that the story was not about the children. It was not about Mary Poppins. It was about the redemption of Mr. Banks.
Ah.
So I'm excited I've never seen this movie, or I haven't seen this movie since I saw Saving Mr. Banks. So I'm looking forward to looking for the lack of red and these other details.
She wears a red ribbon around her hat.
Yeah, isn't that
Isn't
kite
she?
red?
But not in the town. The town shouldn't have any red in it.
Oh.
What? Do you remember why?
No.
Just like
That
a
was
weird
part
thing.
of what was. I think also she kept trying to slow down production, and she did not want to do it at all, but she was broke. She was out of money, so she had to. But she made everything really difficult, and apparently the songwriters, according to the film, really nearly lost their minds. Yeah.
And then they did
That's
that
so
whole
interesting.
animated sequence just to spite her?
They did it, and
Or-
but when she read the rewrite, she was like, "Oh, this is amazing that you're going to get these penguins trained to do this." And they're like, "Oh no, it's animated." And then she flew into Walt Disney's office and was like, "You told me that was a stipulation in the contract." So I think the idea was she was basically green M&Ming her way through trying to stall and hate everything about the film. And then eventually they did finish it because they were determined to do so.
How did she feel about the film once it was done? Did they
I
not go into that?
don't know that it really went into that. I
Ooh.
feel like you see the part where she sees the movie and it's okay. Does that sound fair? I don't know. Well, y'all, we're on a podcast where I can't remember movies. So I feel like all of this is really up in the air.
Okay.
But I'm excited to compare my poor memory against my poor memory.
Yeah.
That's
and
fun.
to
That's
see
a
what
new
happens.
one.
Yeah, that's a new dimension.
Wow. So watch that one too. Probably
Yeah.
also owned by Disney, I
Yeah.
assume. So hey,
You're welcome.
you're welcome.
So how many all right, chimney sweep. Are you gonna give this, do you think?
So the whole thing is, all right, chimney sweep.
Now are
That's it.
these
Okay.
That's
chimney
one unit.
sweeps, or this is just the phrase?
All right, chimney sweep.
Just the phrase.
Just the phrase.
Okay.
How many phrases are you going to give this movie? Do you
Okay.
think?
I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. I remember it being a delight. I don't know. Like, this is one of those movies where I watched enough. I know I watched a lot as a kid because there were like specific lines or line readings that I ever like seared into my brain because my siblings and I enjoyed them so much. But I will be cowardly to a point and say 4.
God, we've expanded our cowardice to like 3 and 4.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Like all
right.
ratings are going to be cowardice.
Okay,
now.
you're right. Okay, not cowardly, just not like I'm a little trepidatious.
A trepidatious 4?
A trepidatious 4. Because I don't know, it's been a while. Maybe it's a slog. It sounds like there's 1,000 songs in this movie.
Yeah.
So fun.
So I'm sorry, 4 what's?
All right, chimney sweep.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also watched this movie a billion times as a child, and I'm pretty sure it's my mom's favorite movie. So we watched it a lot. So I'm gonna give it 5.
Okay.
All right, chimney sweep.
Are you at all concerned that your mother secretly wished that she had someone else to watch her children?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not afraid of that at all.
All right.
Wow, cool.
So
Must be nice.
Yep.
yes, my mom's great. She listens to this podcast. She'll,
Oh,
she's gonna be so
hi.
happy.
Hi, Beth's mom. I watched this a few times, but don't remember like being excited for it or not being excited.
Sure.
Like I have real neutral feelings. But even that said, I feel like I'm gonna like it more as an adult. I just feel like it's gonna be more delightful
Sure.
than I remember it being. So I'm gonna say 4.
Wow.
Are you-
Is that a trepidatious 4? Or
No, that's a confident 4.
All right, jeez.
wow.
One quick caveat to see if maybe you go back down to trepidatious. Are you
Yeah.
at all concerned either of these children will just drink a big glass of milk?
Well, I'm fine with the children drinking
What if
milk.
Poppins dives into it too, though?
I'm not going to be okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, she is maybe a witch, maybe a fire demon.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
So not an adult in that sense.
What do you mean? That means she's
Wait.
like thousands of years old.
Like an
She's
adult
like a super
human.
adult.
I mean,
We'll talk about this.
like supernatural creatures drinking milk. I don't know.
That's
like
you're
a-
okay with?
I don't know.
Wow.
That just seems like that's too wide of a thing to really drill down on.
All right.
I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
Wow. I'm going to give a Beal Bold 5.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
it does feel bold for me. I
5
feel like
what?
I'm all right, chimney, sweet.
Yep.
Yep. I remember the whole thing. Because I'm a little bit nervous, probably it might be more like a 4 or possibly even a 3. But I'm just hoping for magic. I'm just going to live in enthusiasm and optimism for this movie
Great.
and hope to not be disappointed. No pressure, Mary Poppins.
Wow.
Wow.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch Mary Poppins, and we'll be right back. And we're back. We just watched 139 minutes of good parenting, some class struggles, and magic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
give or take.
Give or take.
Give or take some magic.
And songs. Did you say songs?
I
So many
forgot
songs.
and
Jeez,
how
a lot of
could I have
songs.
Lots
so
of
many?
songs. I mean, some of them were like just constant reprise.
Not
Yeah.
songs.
I mean, at a certain point, I was like, does the dad know any other
No.
songs?
I think that might have been intentional.
I mean, he didn't know any other songs until he knew Go Fly a Kite.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Came out in 1964.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dan nailed it.
Claims to have nailed it.
Yeah,
Apparently,
we aren't sure.
Apparently, it was noted, perhaps incorrectly.
Anyway,
Check the tapes. And by tapes, I mean have listened to the first half of the show.
you, listener, are at an advantage in that you have not, well, maybe you have, but you probably haven't watched a 2.5 hour movie
Yeah.
in between recording halves.
Yep.
So tweet at us.
Yep.
Hashtag Dan is right
Or Dan is right.
or Dan is right.
Oh. But that's, so it's hashtag Dan is right or hashtag or Dan is right.
Yep.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah, Mary Poppins. Oh, here's a quick summary of
Great.
the movie. The kids are missing. We see the house, and the old nanny can't find him. She's sick of it. She comes in. We see Mom. She's a suffragette. She's too busy to really listen. Sings a bunch of songs. Old nanny leaves. They get a new nanny, but there's a note that they write that they're wishing upon. Goes up the chimney.
Yeah.
Mary Poppins shows up. She's a delight. She charms everyone, although the dad is a big fuddy-duddy.
Mm-hmm.
They do a bunch of stuff. There's like a laughing uncle.
Yep.
I don't know why that part matters. We'll get to it. They go and tour the bank, and in the end, everything works out.
That's a really good summary.
Great summary.
Yeah.
I think you hit every point.
Yeah,
I
Dad
love that
almost
you
gets
start
fired.
out so detailed.
Yeah.
And then you're like, and then some
Give
stuff.
Like you can tell that you realized you were starting out too detailed and then swung real hard in the other direction.
Dad almost, bank dad gets fired, but then it's fine because he kills the bank
Yes,
manager.
correct.
And that's why it's fine.
Now-
Feel laughter.
Whoa.
That's how business works. You take out the man at the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot about it until like right before they said it. I was like, oh yeah, that kills him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
The laughing.
Well,
Yep.
Laughing.
You know,
Laughing.
there's laughing and laughter.
happily ever laughter.
Yep,
Wow.
exactly.
Sorry.
No, is that the name of a movie? Because it should be.
It probably is.
Hollywood,
Hey,
call us up.
call us up.
Finally.
We'll write a movie.
Also, send us a check for getting people to come
Yeah, for all the
to
marketing.
rewatch Mary Poppins Returns in
Yeah.
second-run theaters.
Yeah, also all the Star Warses.
Oh, yeah, and the Star Warses. Hello.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
Star Warses.
Hey, remember all those people that saw your movies?
Yeah, a bunch did.
Because of us.
At
Yeah.
least 12.
People?
Yeah,
Million.
thank you. I didn't finish that number.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I interrupted. I didn't.
Oh.
I got excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were right that the old nanny gets fed up and that the kids are rascals.
Yes.
But
they're like
are
less
they?
rascals than I think we.
Yeah. They're
No,
just
they,
like,
they just like their kite got lost.
yeah.
And then they got
But this is also the fourth time they've gotten lost.
There's implications that they are stinkers because, like, when they're
Singing their song.
singing their song about what they want in Nanny, they're like, if you're all of these things, we won't, like, put pepper in your tea. And
Yeah.
so, like,
yeah.
there's implication that they've done some things.
It's way more minor than what the Von Trapp kids did to their nannies.
Ooh, what did they do?
Yeah, what
I
did
don't
they-
remember.
They like
I haven't seen
hid like mice and apron pockets
Well,
and
and
stuff.
there was also, like, a small army of
yeah,
them, too.
so it was too many
Yeah.
of them. So I feel like the Banks kids were generally okay. They were just understimulated and didn't want to be dominated.
Yeah, I think as far as like upper class British people in the early 20th century go, they were terrible children because like I think the standard position of society was more their dad's position of just like children should be quiet and they should come at 6:05 when I'll pat their heads and then go to bed and that is me being a parent.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is 1910, we learned specifically early on, right? When
It's
Mr.
in-
Banks is singing about how great his life is.
It's
pretty
a
much,
time of
right?
men.
Yeah. He's not wrong, right?
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Is this an okay time for me to launch into suffrages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we're
suffrage
introduced to their
movement?
mom.
It is, and it's fascinating because everything she says is true historically. Like, those aren't random names that she's mentioning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and in England, 1910 was the height of, I don't know, I guess it started like 1906, and then it built and built, and then took a pause during World War One, which is fascinating, and then returned in 1920. But basically, the whole name suffragette was supposed to be a put down. Because it was the women's suffrage movement, and columnists called them suffragettes to demean them.
Oh.
And they were like, oh, well, thank you very much. We will take that name and make it our name,
Nice.
which was a very good move.
Just the
Suffragette.
suffixed
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
And it turns out they were it's I don't know. I think in our collective memory we've softened the edges a lot. Like it was ladies that wore banners and cool hats and white dresses and did marching and things, but they got into some shit.
Yeah.
It was really all about activism. It was action over words, and it was pretty ferocious, and they had some pretty horrifying consequences. So it was
At one point, she talks about throwing stuff at the prime minister.
Yes.
Oh,
Which is awesome.
that's minor.
Like rotten
Yeah,
eggs
they
and
did a
stuff.
lot of disobedience and getting arrested and then refusing food, going on hunger strikes, and being force fed.
Yeah,
And
there's
then a woman died in custody.
Oh.
Yeah, and then no, she didn't die in custody. She got trampled by a horse. There's just all
Oh
this
my
shit that happened, right?
Oh, okay.
Which sort of
Yeah.
glosses over. And in my defense, the suffrage movement in America started earlier with some high points in like 1850 and 1890, but had a similar trajectory around the time of World War One.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't totally wrong,
No.
but I wasn't totally right, which is on brand.
There was like a throwaway line about her like going to the prison
Yeah.
to like shout, and like they were clearly like amassing a protest at the prison, which sort of implied
Yeah.
that some of their members had been arrested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a fascinating choice because I don't think it's a choice that's made in the book. I think it was made
Oh.
for the movie because I think the idea was that American audiences would need a reason for the mom to not be parenting her child, like not
Instead-
understanding the time
Instead
and
of just being rich.
yeah, like that was like insufficient.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's amazing because there's so much of the music that is really upbeat and so much of the dialogue that's super real talk, but it's in this sort of hard shell candy coating
Yeah.
that makes it, well, I guess a spoonful of sugar,
Ah.
right? Ugh, gross. Anyway, suffragettes, super cool.
Yeah.
And that speaking of that song about sugar, not taking place when they're taking medicine.
No, not at all.
No. I don't know why.
Like the
I
one
kn-
time they're not singing it.
Yeah. I mean, I could totally, like, if I, like, sang the song, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it's the time she, like, goes out the window, there's the bird and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I was like, no, it's when they're taking the medicine after, yeah.
No.
But it's
No,
like,
I
hey,
don't know.
make cleaning up your room a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Which-
later.
Snap, the job's a game.
Yep.
I already sang that in the first half, but it's so catchy. I love the music
It's
from
fun.
this.
I'm going to try so hard tomorrow to tackle my to-do list using song.
Making it a game.
I mean,
Yep. It's going to
whistle
last
while
for
you
3
work.
seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, but also like she's got magic.
Yeah.
It's not just that it's a game. Like
Yeah.
also they're just standing around snapping their fingers instead
Well,
of like
they are
picking
trying
stuff up.
to, in the case of young Michael.
Oh,
young
that
Michael
kid.
can't snap
He's
his
trying
fingers.
so hard. His sister is crushing it.
Yeah, she
she's
picks
like,
up right away.
yeah, she's like controlling fucking toy soldiers to like march and step into the toy chest while he's just like trying to sitting there like licking his fingers, trying to get a couple of books in his
Well,
arms.
he has a bigger disability as
What's-
a boy within the patriarchy. He has
Oh,
a
I
more
see.
limited imagination.
Oh, I see. Like he's already being crushed by his dad in
And
ways
she's
he doesn't realize.
already being trained to clean up things. So,
Ooh.
yeah, right?
Jeez, Molly.
Sorry. There's a lot of dark you can find in this if you want to.
Oh yeah.
And then when he
Yeah.
finally
Oh, yeah,
tries to use his creativity and clean up, he gets trapped in the
Yeah,
closet.
he gets shoved into the closet.
He's imprisoned
Yep.
because he's stepped out of line.
Yep. It's like being thrown into the sanatorium.
Let
Yep.
me out, let me out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. I did not realize how much was going on during that song. I thought it was just a fun special effects extravaganza.
Yeah. But I was also, during that scene, I was also realizing something about myself of being more impressed with special effects in older movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now I see a movie and I'm like, oh, computers did it.
Yeah, they spent money and
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And now it's like, I don't know how they, in 64, I don't know how they made, like some of it's like backwards filming, but other stuff, it's like how they make them jump in the drawers and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's,
Or like that animatronic Robin was really nicely done.
Yeah.
Very well articulated.
Or do you think it was a puppet and they just went through by hand and
I don't know.
changed each frame of the
I don't know.
film?
I mean,
Like,
they.
how does that work? And Technicolor is like 3 different. Was that the 3 different cameras? That's something else. No, Technicolor was finally could have it all in one camera.
Oh.
Oh, so maybe that made it help make it possible in some
I
ways.
don't know.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
know that I went to the Walt Disney Museum that's in San Francisco, and they had a whole thing about the animatronics at Disney. Like, and there's a bird there. So I wonder if that was kind of like one of the earlier
Test
early
birds.
birds.
Ah.
So sorry. But yeah, because I would imagine that was about the same like time that they were making those animatronic birds for like the Tiki Room
right.
at Disney
Sure.
World or Disneyland.
Well, it was a great bird.
Great
Yeah.
bird.
Great
So
bird.
they have the technology, is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. All that whole scene of the magic with stuff flying in and out of drawers. And,
Yeah, and like when she's pulling stuff out of her carpet bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that fun scene where she's singing at herself in the mirror.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her
Like
mirror
cheeky.
self is being all.
Show
"Ooh,
off.
let me show off my Mariah
like-
Carey.
Oh, I was gonna
range."
say Mariah Carey.
Ah!
Yeah. Julie Andrews crushes.
Crushes.
Oh, so great.
Singing and charming.
So charming,
And being authoritative. She's like the ultimate high status character.
kind but firm.
Yep.
Yep. As she states.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, she does.
And then we're allowed to see her softness only through some dialogue with her umbrella.
Yes.
The parrot at the end of her umbrella, good call, Beth, that gives her some sass, but is giving her sass about how much she cares about the kids.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it's just
very
like
well
the
done.
umbrella's just like, feel something, damn it.
I know you're feeling things.
So, might as well get into it now. What is she?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she? They hint early on that she might be a witch when she comes flying in. The
Yes.
kids guess she is a witch,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
then they say no, she doesn't have a broom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Though not all witches have brooms.
Tweet at
Is
us.
that the hashtag? Hashtag not all witches. Hashtag have
Hashtag
brooms.
not all witches.
Hashtag have brooms.
Yeah. Right? That's
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah.
I would love to see how the hashtag have brooms has already been used in our society, by the way. Yeah, okay. So we originally thought that he throws it into the fire and it burns, and
Yeah.
she's like summoned through like invocation of the flame.
Yeah.
That does not happen.
No, but
she
it's also because we see her in the opening shot sitting on a cloud.
Right,
Just hanging out.
just hanging out,
Powdering
putting
her
on her
nose.
makeup,
Yeah.
getting ready
Setting
for
you
the day.
up for a joke that happens like an hour and 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
But anyway.
What?
Yeah, because she's powdering her nose.
Yeah.
And then later, when she goes into the chimney sweep world, she
Yep.
powders her nose, but she's adding more soot
yeah.
to her face.
Good
Yeah.
clean
Which,
soot.
by the way, I used to think she was putting on a mustache, but that's definitely not what's happening.
That's amazing. So she can fit into the patriarchal world of chimney sweeps.
Yeah. Well, because she becomes like a militant leader, I guess.
Oh, sure.
And she starts
Yeah. That makes sense.
yelling out
All the chimney
commands and
sweeps
things like
goose
that.
stepping in line on the
Yeah.
rooftops.
Yep.
We'll get to that. Okay. So, yeah. So she's apparently like she is not invoked by the flame, but
No.
she travels on the wind.
Yes.
Like she comes in on the east wind. Is that correct?
Sure.
Like the wind
And
was.
travels out on the west.
Yeah.
Well,
That
the
seemed to
wind
be a
changes
suggestion.
direction, but I don't remember which way.
I don't either. So it seems like she's maybe some sort of like elemental spirit or some sort of like, I don't know, like some kind of like demigod, right? Who I guess is just sort of like, I don't know. I think she's sort of taking like the approach of like Greek gods, or she's kind of like, I'm just going to fuck around with these people sometimes because I want them to be different.
Yeah.
Like I have decided how I want them to behave.
Yeah, because there's definitely magic in the world.
Yes. That she seems to have like a great affinity for.
Yeah. That's separate from her. Like, she's not the only magical thing in the world.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So once you get to know Bert a little bit,
Oh, Bird is fascinating.
yeah, and I think Bert is like some sort of like, and I think all the chimney sweeps are once they all start popping up. I think they are all some sort of like lesser creature, like fair
sprites?
folk kind of thing, yeah, or like little goblin demons, whatever. Because honestly, like when those chimney sweeps started just popping out chimneys, it was like the goblins in Labyrinth. It was just like, like just like pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and like
some of 'em
Bert,
defy physics.
yeah,
in the way they pop out of
and
chimneys.
like Bert clearly has at least some ability to like channel magic, but maybe he needs like Molly is yawning. Needs a like a source, like a power,
Or
like
it just needs the presence of,
like a more magical creature like Mary Poppins, because like he tries to jump into the chalk painting himself, and that seemed to be almost like
I think he's also kind of goading Mary Poppins into doing it.
he is, but I think it's also like that's part of their relationship where it's like he knows a little bit of magic and he's trying to like trying to get bigger than his britches, but she has to like talk him back down. I'm like, no, you aren't allowed to have the fire. Simple imp or whatever, young sprite.
I heard a theory once that Mary Poppins is a Time Lord,
What?
like from the Doctor Who world.
Okay.
The Doctor's a
Cannot
Time
speak to
Lord.
that.
The Doctor's a Time Lord. He's an alien. that comes from a planet called Gallifrey. But they have a technology where they can make things that are bigger on the inside than they are on the outside. So
Yeah.
that's why his ship is that police box.
Yeah.
And then when you walk in, it's like a full ship. And so that's the same with Mary Poppins' bag. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And then he has a sonic screwdriver, which is like his tricky little thing that he has. And she has an umbrella. And then she also... The Doctor always travels with a companion. So Bert maybe was a former companion that traveled through time and space with her. And then she
he's
comes
left
back
behind.
and yeah. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were shushing me, but you
No.
were just thinking.
Yeah.
Just a theory I've heard
Yes.
before.
Here, like, I mean, I already thought just from going into this movie, like, I'm like, we're going to think she's some sort of, like, terrifying, like, planeswalker, like, creature of myth. But then, excuse me. But then the beginning, which I don't think any of us remembered, all of these, like, stodgy, like, old lady nannies are, like, waiting to apply to Mr. Banks's advertisement in the Times, which is just sort of like, be firm and teach children how to, I don't know,
Give up on
quiet
life.
just
and
be
afraid.
fine and be like, yeah, crushed underfoot by
Yes.
society. And they are literally blown away. Like, it's not even like, oh, the wind is so blustery and they like have to run after their umbrellas. Like, literally, they all just are thrust into the air and disappear. Where did they go? That's why I think she's like an ancient creature, because all those creatures of myth, there's like a little dark edge. Like, even if they're mischievous, they're also a little dangerous. And I wonder what happened to those women.
I think she just killed all those nannies,
Or like
No.
trapped them somewhere, right?
like in a painting.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. That's maybe. Yeah.
Or
Maybe
in
they
the
blew
mirror
around the
realm.
corner, and Bert was there with like a big chalk outline. He's just like, come along now.
Okay. Okay.
You're
How about
trapped
this?
in me realm.
How about this? How about they were never there?
What?
How about
You think they were an illusion?
They were an illusion created so the children could see the specter.
Oh, and so Mr. Banks could feel
And
confident.
Mr. Banks could feel confident, and then she simply blew them away, like maybe they were really leaves or whatever.
I see.
They
Sure,
fly
sure,
away,
sure,
and
sure.
then she resumes her spot.
I would accept that.
Because yeah, it'd be weird if they were real people. Because where did they go, and are they okay? Because they were flying very high.
I don't know. You
Yeah.
can't. I mean, you always have to be cautious with creatures like that.
Yeah,
Even if they're generally benevolent, they are still from another world,
that's true.
and we are but simple mortals.
And is there anyone more simple than Mr. Banks?
Right?
No. And his wispy mustache.
And
Yeah.
his song that's like literally about that, right? Like his whole one song that he sings like 7 times is just like, let's be proper. Everyone do what I say about how our life should be. And also I'm the best because I'm good at being proper.
Yeah. Also, is that the same as the banking song, or he just gets
That's
in on that?
different.
That one's like big on like, hey, colonialism rocks. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna
Oh,
go
yeah.
put railroads in Africa.
Yeah.
Get
Once
a bunch
he's
of tea
at
from
work.
India.
Yeah.
It's great being the empire.
Yes.
God save the queen.
God save the queen.
Yeah.
But also
The bank.
The bank is clearly like some sort of like ancient Dracula cult.
Yes. Okay. So we should get to that because none of us remembered the bank scenes.
None of them.
No, I
At
remembered
all.
Wait,
the
that's not
old
true.
man.
Well,
I said something about the bank scene, didn't I?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think Beth did.
But
'cause
not
you,
the second part. I forgot that he has to go back to the bank.
You had the whole thing about the run on
Yeah,
the
the run on
banks.
the
Oh,
bank.
yeah,
I
yeah.
literally do not remember a single moment of those children and their father related to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of stuff happened. So either I had to go to bed early or it just
I
like,
have a
went over my
theory.
head. What?
Because I only have one bone to pick with this movie,
Mm-hmm.
which is right almost exactly halfway through the movie. Mary Poppins sings a song that's like, go to sleep and close your eyes.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. Like right in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
If that happened at the end, I'd be like, yeah, I'm into this because now it's time to go to bed. But I have a whole other half of the movie to get through.
You know, I do fall asleep easily, and I bet I just snooze through that part of the movie.
Yeah. That's
Interesting.
That's
mean,
the part where it's like
entirely
it puts
possible.
you to sleep and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, fly a kite. Okay, I'm awake now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, or she literally has subjected you to an incantation of sleep. Like,
of
why do you
her-
think Michael kept his eyes closed while he was clearly being like led back to his own
Yeah.
bed?
Oh,
Because he
Magic.
was
That was-
compelled to sleep.
it was unconvincing acting.
Compelled, Molly.
Unconvincing.
Well,
But yeah, I will say though, it did make me feel a little more tender toward Attack of the Clone Wars and that series of movies.
why?
because they also have to do with essentially like banking or mortgages or really boring stuff.
Uh-huh.
And so maybe it's not so strange.
In terms of
Now that I've
family
seen
movies that
2
deal
movies
heavily
in a row.
with bank issues, this one does it better than Attack of the
But
Clone
yeah, and if
Wars.
you think about it, like
Hashtag shut up,
Monopoly is one of the most popular games to play with a family.
Uh-huh.
Like that's messed up,
Monopoly's
right?
fun.
And life is all about buying insurance.
Oh, we're going big now. We're talking about like
we're
the
going
horrors
big.
of capitalism.
Yeah, we're just saying like
and
how
how they okay.
Yeah.
I
Here we
think. Well,
go.
I think this movie though does a great job of being like, capitalism is not good.
yeah.
Like, there's a whole thing where she's like, Mary is like, you know, your dad can't see everything because he doesn't see this poor woman sitting on the steps of this church trying to feed the birds, which the birds are a metaphor for poor people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Once we explained that to Molly, she was okay. when the song started, she thought it was actually about birds being in trouble. She was very sad.
Mary Poppins has a lyric about there being like starving young birds and their bare nests, and Molly was like, "Oh, this song is so sad." And then Dan was like, no, this is a metaphor for the poor of London. And then she felt slightly better.
She was fine.
That it was about human suffering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those birds are fine. They're getting fed like crazy.
Oh, yeah. Those
Yeah.
birds are like just getting fat
Oh,
and
f-
hanging
pigeons
out in
in
that
London
cathedral.
town?
Come
So
on.
much
Forget about
bread.
it.
So much crumb.
Yeah. And then also she talks about, like, literally they say Mr. Banks is in a cage.
Yes.
Oh.
And the cage is the bank, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
that's some birds.
intense.
That was a Bert thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bert's like when he's not like Mary Poppins's like familiar or whatever, like helping her do magic, he's basically just his whole thing is like proselytizing like the freedom of a like freelance laborer.
Yeah.
Right?
He is the bookend to Mary Poppins
Mhm.
because he finishes what she starts.
Oh.
Right? Like he completes in the children their sense of empathy for their father.
Yes.
And he completes in the father empathy for the children.
Oh.
So he is her servant on this earth, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Basically.
And he's
Yeah.
still grounded
He's
in
like
the
the
mortal world
closer.
enough
Exactly.
where he
He's
can
the closer.
relate
He
to
is the
humans.
closer though. That I totally forgotten that he had a scene with Mr. Banks.
Yep.
That's like literally all he's doing. He's just like, "Oh, governor, let me finish my chimney sweep," and he's like literally basically telling Mr. Banks like, "Wow, you are a sad man who
Yeah.
cannot relate to your children, but you're correct that is the proper way to be." And you can just see Mr. Banks's face like falling as he internalizes the horrors of his own existence.
Yeah.
And then Bert just happily walks out whistling a jaunty
He's
tune.
living the gig economy life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, great. What a great movie. I feel like as I was watching it, I was like, oh, I see why I turned out the way I am.
Because of Mary Poppins?
Yeah, I've seen
And
that
It's a
movie
Wonderful
so
Life.
many times, and like, I'm like, I don't know, a lot of the lessons that they teach in the movie,
Yes.
I'm like, I feel like those are things that I have ingrained in me.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's cool to like not be making millions of dollars and be doing things that are like also important and making art. Like
Yeah.
he's like, hello, art lovers, or something at one point.
Oh, yeah. I did not remember that
No.
the fourth wall gets broken
Yeah.
by only Bert.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just like Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream. He is like the lesser servant of the fair folk.
Yeah, he turns to us, the
Yeah.
audience,
Oh,
twice. And
terrifying.
He's like, hello, it's me.
Okay,
Bert.
Bert has sorry, Bert has so many jobs,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So he starts out as a one-man band,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I'd completely forgotten about that before we watched it.
It's delightful.
It is
It's
delightful.
incredible, and people are so stingy with their tips.
Oh,
Except
yeah.
for the
A
lady.
one-man band / like just doing crowd work.
Yes.
He was
Yeah,
writing like
personalized
personal song.
Yeah.
improv poems.
yeah.
It's great, and I want to come back to Andrew the dog
Yes,
in
of
just a
course.
second. But so he starts out, he's a one-man band.
Yep.
Then he is a chalk artist
Yep.
on the ground.
Yep.
Then he is something before chimney sweep, I thought.
Well, he's okay. I know he sells kites at the
He
end.
sells kites at the end.
Ooh. He mentions when it rains that it's like, oh, it's a good time to switch to hot chestnuts or something.
Yes.
So he's going to start roasting chestnuts and
Oh,
selling
yeah.
those on the street.
Yep.
Then he hangs out with Uncle Albert,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Caretaker.
caretaker.
Oh, sure. Caretaker of the elderly. Yeah.
Well, that seemed like it was a friend. He came
Yeah.
as soon as he
Family
heard.
friend.
Mm-hmm. Well-
Yeah, I can't think of what the other job
Just
was.
a lot of
but
different
yeah, he
jobs.
just
Yes.
goes through a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him.
He's grinding it out.
I
He
guess
is
so, but
grinding it
does
out.
he have a place where he lives? Is
don't-
he a supernatural being?
I am not convinced that he's not homeless.
Yeah, I mean, I think he
'Cause-
maybe like
yeah.
lives inside a chalk drawing or
Like
something.
when they leave the chalk drawing and it's pouring rain, he walks into the park instead of out of the park. He's not walking toward a home. He's walking toward the park.
He probably lives in a hollow in a tree.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like he
like a
holds,
woodland creature.
right?
Yeah.
Like he like pushes down his nose and sticks out his tongue and then shrinks down to the size of a chipmunk and lives in a tree
Oh,
Wow. I
or
hope-
something.
delightful. Do you think he's the bird?
What?
Bert.
Bert.
Bird.
One
Yes.
letter
Yes,
off.
yes, I do. I do
Yeah,
think he's
too
the bird.
close.
He's the bird.
What?
I said
You can't have bird without an I.
What?
Nope. I was trying to do that team without I in it.
Oh.
It didn't really work.
I'm being supportive of
I
the
and you.
theory. I'm
Yep.
saying Bert and Bird are too close for it not to be true.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Not
he's
too close to be true.
Yeah,
I thought
and
you
then
might say it was
so
two on the nose.
Too close
On the
to be
beak.
true.
right, and like Uncle whatever,
The streets.
right?
Sorry, what?
Her like Uncle Guy, laughing Uncle, or
Uncle
whatever.
Albert.
Uncle
Uncle
Albert.
Albert. So he's like of the same race as Mary Poppins, right? But he's like,
Yeah.
I am old and I've decided to live with the mortals, right?
Do you think it's
Oh.
not just the very old and the very young? Because the man in the bank is definitely mortal, right? The
Or
elderly man.
is he a
The
vampire?
head vampire?
I think he's the head vampire of London Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty creepy. But no, I think it's the very old and the very young.
Why are you ruining this for me?
Okay, keep going.
It's just a theory.
What?
It can be that too.
If I was to re-edit this movie, I might cut out that Uncle Albert scene.
Yeah, what do you think that was about?
I don't know.
Was
it
that like a
was-
metaphor for
I
something?
think that was setting up the death of the guy at the end.
Just so he could laugh himself to death?
Yeah.
Do you think it was supposed to be like a weird metaphor for something though? Because like Mary Poppins she has very strong opinions about Uncle Albert, his laughter, and him bringing the children and Bert into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, he's being like sort of a manic, it's like a manic depressive up there, right? Like he even talks about he's either laughing
Yeah.
or he's like very sad and he just
Yeah.
kind of waffles between
So you think
the
it's
two.
like a mental illness metaphor?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I thought it was just like a fun musical number.
I mean, it was.
It's just silly.
It is.
They're literally just laughing. Literally just
Yeah.
laughing.
At great jokes.
Yeah, the jokes
Really great jokes.
Really good jokes.
are great.
That one was pretty good.
Yeah,
They
it
really
was.
they really drive it into the ground by the end. But it's a pretty good joke.
Was, oh, I thought maybe that was a joke too, because at the end they're on the ground.
Oh, good point.
The leg joke is pretty good. It kills the king vampire.
Yep.
That Uncle Albert had a good joke too, though, where he's trying to be sad. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I ran over your cat. I'd like to replace it, or dog, or whatever it was."
No, it was a
Yeah,
cat.
it was cat. And then
She says you can, but I don't know if you'll be as good at catching mice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good joke.
That was a
It
good
is
It's a
joke.
good
joke.
joke.
They had a solid tight 5 comedy duo.
Yeah. Also, like that actor is great.
Yeah.
Like every cartoon ever has pretended to be him. Like a character in that every cartoon ever has had a character that sounds exactly like him.
Is that scene only there because they got him? He was
Maybe.
like, "Oh, I'll do a movie."
Yeah, maybe.
Like, okay, here, we'll write a scene just for you that has nothing to do with the plot,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but then
Ed
also we'll kill the vampire.
Win.
Edwin, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little sad we never got to the fish market
Yeah.
because the little kids were so sweet. They're like, "We're going to buy some fish."
Yeah.
And it actually reminded me of when I was a kid. I was very young. One of our family stories is how we would go to the fish store, which I remember.
Is
like,
this when
as a
you
kid.
lived in the Soviet Union?
No, this is when we lived in Memphis.
Okay.
And I really loved it. And one day I came home and I saw my sister and I said, Amy, we went to the store. It smelled fish and they had lobsters.
Aw, lobsters.
Lobsters.
That's really good.
Oh,
Is
little
there-
did I know that they were just being kept until they're killed.
Oh yeah, they're boiled
Can
alive.
find darkness in anything.
Hey, the lobsters can feel pain.
Lobsters.
FYI. Is there not a song about fish in this?
What?
What am I
You
thinking
just saw the movie. What
Little
are you talking
Mermaid? Are you
about?
thinking of Little Mermaid?
Kiss the girl.
of? No. Isn't there a song about like a fishmonger or something?
No.
No.
What
Are you
are
thinking
you
of
talking
Oliver?
about?
What are you talking
Maybe.
about?
You literally just saw this movie. I don't
There was
understand what
no
you're talking
song about
about.
fish.
The
I
word
thought
fish
there
comes
was.
in once.
I don't know. I thought maybe I was in the kitchen or something.
No.
No.
For a
man.
whole
Sorry.
song?
I don't know.
There were a lot of songs, to be fair.
There were a lot of songs.
No.
The songs were a mile a minute.
Yeah, there were a lot of songs.
Here's the songs.
Okay.
That I wrote down.
Okay, great.
Chim, chimity, chim, chim, chiroo.
Yep.
We sort of start with, but then hear
Yeah,
like
it's
9
like a-
times.
Prelude. Is that a thing?
Yeah. I also
Sure.
think it's like
Prelude, Midlude.
his
Yeah.
postlude.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like his
his
core
power song.
spell is
Yeah.
like the Chim Chim Charu song.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Yay, I'm a Suffragette.
Yeah.
Yes.
We also bet that one. Nailed it. Mr. Banks has a song about how great it is to be Mr. Banks.
Yep.
Yep.
We didn't bet on that one.
No.
I don't think.
But we sure get to hear it a lot.
Nanny Wish. Oh, the kids sing a little song about
Yeah.
how they want a nanny.
It is the sweetest.
It's very cute.
Yeah,
Those
it's
kids,
real cute.
man.
Oh,
I guess
God.
I say the kids, I mean just the daughter, and then Mike chimes in right at the end.
But,
Well,
but
She's doing all the heavy lifting.
yeah,
in the
but
song.
as you pointed out, Dan, while she's singing that song, he is just like boring into his father with those childlike eyes. Like,
yeah,
I'm
the eye
coming for you.
contact is real
I'm
intense.
coming for you, father.
Matched only by one of the bankers near the end,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
staring at Mr. Banks just like the whole time.
Yeah,
eyes right
Mm.
at it.
Because they're Draculas.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all bankers, Draculas. Then spoonful of sugar, clean up your room. Nailed it.
Spoonful of sugar, clean up your room.
Oh, and then it's a jolly holiday with Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sidebar.
Yeah.
It's time for our ongoing segment.
Yes.
Oh.
Did they bang?
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 Yes, right.
Yeah,
They've banged
for sure.
in
For
the past.
Sure.
Not in the span of this movie. I don't think they banged
there's
on
a
this visit,
There's a
metaphorical
moment,
moment.
Yeah.
but I think they have a banging past.
They definitely have a banging past. There is that moment, though. Beth, you want to talk about
Oh,
it?
yeah, sure.
I just feel like you got very excited when that happened.
So
'Cause-
there's a part where they're like, you kids go over there.
Yep.
And then they go on a stroll
they're
through
Holly, whatever it was called, the song.
A jolly little
Jolly
holly.
little holly, yeah.
Mary.
and they Mary has her umbrella and Bert has his walking cane.
Yeah.
And they set them down on a fence and they keep walking, but then all of a sudden the umbrella and the cane start to fly through the air together and the umbrella just opens
Yeah.
and you don't see Mary and Bert.
Yeah.
And so it could be a metaphor
Yeah.
for what Mary and Bert are up to.
And like the hooks of those two
Oh, yeah,
implements are like
they're interlocked.
interlocked
Like
together.
swans.
What?
Yes, like swans.
Yeah, or dogs.
Yep, like
Dogs?
dogs
No,
and
okay.
swans.
What?
Okay.
I know exactly what both of you are talking
I do
about.
too. Well, sort of. The swan thing I'm a little off on, which what does that say about me? So swans, you're talking about like how they'll like when they course, they kind of like
Their necks.
smoosh their heads
Yes,
up
yeah,
together. What Dan's talking about.
What is Dan talking?
When
Did I-
canids mate,
Oh, good.
particularly like the wolf,
Uh-huh.
as a biological deterrence from any other male's genetic material to possibly successfully impregnate the female, their genitals are inflamed in such a way where they're like locked together for like half an hour.
What?
Yeah, so they just kind of have to like hang out together while their two backs areas are just kind of like interlocked with each other. If you watch a documentary about it, it is honestly one of the funniest things in nature because you can tell they both kind of like, because they're just animals. So like they're
Yeah.
like, all right, great. And they try to walk away from each other and they kind of just go like, well, okay. And they both just kind of stand there.
So they should just stand there and wait it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
So, like swans or dogs.
Yeah, like swans or dogs,
I thought that's what you were talking about. I thought maybe swans were another one of those.
where their genitals lock.
No.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Are there any other? Tweet at us. What animals
Don't tweet
genital
it. I
lock.
don't want to read it. I don't.
Hashtag-
Genalock? Is it-
Genital lock.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Genital
don't want
lock's pretty good.
anything tagged that. No.
Okay,
Just no. We'll skip it. We just don't need to know. We don't need to know.
fine.
There's so much other information. That
I'm
we
trying to learn.
You can just tweet at Dan personally.
I don't have a Twitter account.
I never log into mine anymore.
Do you log into ours?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Well, just DM the Totes Recall account
Yeah.
and say this is for Dan.
Slip into our
only.
DMs.
Slip into our DMs and
Slide
tell me
into
about animal genitals that lock
Hashtag-
together.
no.
Ooh,
Locked
I'm
dogs.
gonna regret this.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm gonna regret it.
I don't even know our login.
Okay, great.
But I think they did. I think it was a metaphor.
Okay.
I think the whole point is yes, they got
And
together.
they have definitely past banged for Sure. Do you think? Okay, while we're in cartoon land,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
they're doing the whole song. First of all, great cartoon character. Like all the animals are delightful.
Oh god, especially the penguins.
Especially the penguins.
Oh,
do you
those
think
penguins
Bert?
are so cute?
Do you think Bert and those penguins like rehearsed beforehand? Like, do you think he was like,
I gotta
oh,
impress Mary.
like, because at the beginning of the movie, like he's singing and he feels the wind in the air, and he's like, he implies that she's coming back, but she doesn't show up for another like 15, 20 minutes. So I wonder then if after he's done being a one man band, he like quick drew that field on the chalkboard, jumped in, he's like, all right, guys, Mary's coming back. I really got to seal the deal. Let's do an impressive dance number. I'll invite her to tea. You guys will come in.
Oh, that's true. They do get together right after tea.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's before, right?
Might be before.
Because
I
they
think
come
it's
out
in
of
the farm. It's
Yeah, they
after
come
the
out
farm.
of Animal Farm.
Yep.
Where they have
All the animals are equal.
all the animals are equal and they sing songs, and we couldn't tell if it was a duck or a goose.
Thank goose.
Goose?
I think goose
All
too.
right.
Yeah, like a white
Okay.
bird.
Unanimous goose.
White bird.
Is that a song?
It's a
In
Beatles
the-
song.
No, it's not.
Is it
Carved
anyone's
in the
song?
dead of night.
That's Blackbird.
That's Blackbird.
Yeah.
In the cage. I can't remember who sings
Great.
that.
Anyway, do you think he rehearsed with those penguins? Because they were like solid.
You know, I just feel like this is not either their first time at the rodeo, and I think
Well,
probably they have a hookup in any of those panels.
Yeah.
Whoa, you think they've done it in all the panels?
I mean, I feel like this has happened many, many, many times.
There was that part of the song with the penguins where they're listing all those other women
Yep.
and saying Mary's the best, but also like, how do they know all those women?
Yep.
Wow, you think he's just like bringing
Yes.
other
Yes.
like wizard ladies
Yes.
through the
Or not even
panels?
necessarily wizard ladies. Like he's a creature of like he's a forest creature of myth, and generally most of those creatures are incredibly sexual.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Mary's
Been around.
I've been around, but
No,
like,
but she's a fulfilled
Well,
woman.
there was
liberated
there was a
woman as
little
well.
zing at the end of that song. It just had on the caption. It just said "merry-go-round."
Yeah.
But
was
otherwise, I
coming
have to say that.
An actual merry-go-round. But I was like, that was a
Wait.
weird placement for that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
our captions had questionable timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I'm grateful for the captions because I think especially at the beginning of the movie, I caught so much more than I ever have because there's so much happening. That dialogue is pretty important and interesting.
Yep. All right, jumping back, sidebar over, back to the songs.
So we're saying yes, they banged.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely had past bang. Probably had a quick bang in
Quick in the
cartoon
chalk, a
land.
quickie in the
Quick
chalk,
in the chalk.
a quickie in the chalk.
Quick in the chalk. Yikes. Super catch a fast babba dabba
Come
dabba dabba.
on.
Super fragile.
No,
So,
Oh,
come on.
super fragile. Super califragilisticexpialidocious.
Let us
Yes.
point out that the youngest 35-year-old nailed it in the first half.
That's true.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
young vocal cords.
What?
It's
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the son of it is something quite
Anyway, what about
atrocious.
it?
Yeah, we got it. That's the song. We nailed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, you're just going through the songs. I forgot that's what we were doing.
Yeah, we only did a sidebar and did they bang.
Yeah.
Then the Don't Go to Sleep, which great song.
Oh.
Great, like, I do that all the time with my kid. He's like, I don't want to do that. It's like, all right. And kind of wait him out. They do it.
Uh-huh. What do you do during that time while you're waiting it out? You just sit
Oh.
there and look at each other?
Just sit there and,
Do you make a voodoo doll?
and make a voodoo doll like she was doing.
Okay, she was darning socks.
What does darning mean exactly?
Darning
Oh.
means to mend or to like reweave,
Great.
especially a sock or a stocking
Got it.
or sweater.
Thank you.
Yuck.
Sidebar.
Sidebar. We didn't get that one.
No.
Then there's one about laughing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that
on
was a
Blackbird.
Blackbird.
We didn't get
Yeah,
that one.
get
Loving
that
to
one.
laugh.
I thought I saw that.
Forgettable. Maybe you did.
I
You
said
might have.
laugh something.
I
Who
say
cares?
we give Beth credit.
Sure.
I knew about it. I said Edwin at some point in
Yeah.
the first half.
She did. Check the tapes.
And then isn't it great? The banks are all great.
Yep.
Got
Yep.
that one. Feed the birds.
Yep.
Oh yeah, got that one. Step in time, nailed it. Flight of Kite, nailed it.
Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Pretty-
A
Yeah,
lot
for,
of songs,
for
though.
how many songs there are, we got most of them.
And like some of these songs happen like a half dozen times.
Yes.
yeah.
Like they're doing it.
Correct. Can we touch on Step in Time for 1 second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I already suggested that all of the chimney sweeps are all the same race as Bert, right? And they're
Yeah.
little goblins.
Is he the king?
He is
of
their
the-
king, yes,
Okay,
absolutely. Or at least the strongest.
Same thing.
Because, well, right, exactly. In the world of chimney sweeps, are you kidding? But I realized, like, there's a point where, like, they're doing the elaborate dance on the rooftop. It's great. Molly pointed out that it's, like, the origins of parkour. But eventually, they go back into the Banks' house. And first of all, one of the servant ladies says something like, they're at it again, which, like, there is a story there. Because apparently the chimney sweeps have invaded their home before.
Yeah.
But then at that point, like, one, it sort of does become like the Gremlins from the Gremlins movies.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, when Mr. Banks shows up, I realized, like, even if you take aside the, like, silliness and kind of the magical realism, like, can you imagine, like, the apoplexy that is happening to that aristocratic banker to walk into his home and there are, like, 24 filthy, like, laborers just dancing around his living room? I'm sorry, his parlor room?
Yeah.
Like, I'm amazed he didn't just, like, go, like, pick a gun up from some room and just start firing indiscriminately.
Yeah.
See, I took that line as like when someone's doing an improv scene and they get nervous about a weird thing happening, they'll say, "Oh, not again. That's
Yeah.
the third time this week."
Yeah.
I took that line as, here's an excuse why people aren't panicking right now because this is like a weird
Sure.
situation.
Like, let's diffuse the tension
I
of...
just can't imagine which other situations would be that chimney sweeps would crowd into your home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a chimney bomb.
I mean, maybe because they're, like, mischievous sprites, like, they just happen sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And you have to kind of, like, bring them back, like,
beat them back.
beat
in
him
the
back and be
chimney
like,
with a
no,
broom or
here,
something.
here's a
Here's a
piece...
sock. You're free.
Yeah, right. Or,
You
like,
burn
here's
some
a...
sage at 'em
Right.
and-
Like, here's a piece of copper that a goose sat on in a full moon. Away with thee. Or whatever. I don't know British lore.
Yeah, they scurry away and hiss.
Yes.
their way back.
Well, there was when Admiral
We need
Boom...
more soot for our children.
when Admiral Boom, who we haven't talked about, the crazy guy
Yeah.
on the ship house or whatever, when he, like, starts firing fireworks at them, like, they do kind of scatter like night creatures.
Yeah.
Like,
And then Bert Cricket
knocks
backs one back at him, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Good show, Chip Chip."
yeah, what's his
All right.
deal?
Admiral Boom?
Yeah. PTSD?
First
Yeah.
of all, he does have a sidekick, which I did not remember.
Yeah, it's like
so
Mr.
good job.
Billingsley.
Who
or something
seems
like that.
equally as unstable.
Yeah, and they, like, must just live there together and no one else, right?
They live there together and shoot a cannon off every hour?
Or it just is at 8 a.m.
I think it's the specific hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's definitely 8 a.m.
But there's an
Yeah.
evening one, too.
Yes.
6 p.m. No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
6
Because I feel like
p.m.
the clock showed 6 at one point.
Yep.
And then the Mrs. Banks was like, posts, everyone.
So maybe it's like breakfast and dinner
Yeah,
time.
maybe.
Oh, it's
There's
like
some
the
great
industrial
physical
complex.
comedy
Yeah.
bits.
The first time it goes off and they all have to get to their places and everything falls down and
Mm-hmm.
they catch it all, a delight.
Delightful.
By like the second or third time, I was still delighted, but I had come to realize what a torturous life that is.
Yes.
To at specific hours, you have to go and like be hit by furniture
Yeah.
and like catch vases
Yeah.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
It's like they should either move or just have less stuff.
That guy needs to be.
Or just not participate in
Yeah.
the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
Yeah.
that's about, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, most of the things their posts, like, most of their posts are just, like, protecting precious material goods that are only valuable because we've given them value.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
all, like,
Yeah.
vases
The
and
bases they
shit.
stole from the other countries.
Yeah.
Also, like Admiral Boom needs some medical help.
Clearly. Oh,
Yeah.
clearly.
He still thinks he's at war.
Or something.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
He is good at reading the temperature
Yes.
and emotional temperature in homes.
Yes.
That's true.
Looking
Sure.
for weather patterns that turn out to be emotion patterns. Which, boy, I can relate to that.
Do you think he and Uncle Albert are, like, of the same generation? Like, he is also a magical creature who's sort of just, like,
Spent too much time
in the mortal plane and is kind of going, like, magic senile.
That's why Mary Poppins has to leave. She knows if she stays too long,
Oh.
she'll get
Oh.
earth
Gotta follow the
sickness.
wind.
And then she can only return every, how many years has it been? Let's see, 40, 50, shit, 1964.
Oh, you mean in real time?
Yeah, for the next movie that's coming
But
out.
we don't know when the movie time picks up.
44 between release dates. Is that right?
Sure, I don't know. Anyway, maybe she can only come back every
54?
like 50 years
50.
or something.
I just want to take a quick poll. Who
Four.
right at this moment has a Mary Poppins song in your head? Mine is Step in Time. Anybody else?
I mean, I've had-
as soon as you said a song,
Yeah.
but not before.
Really? God, I have is not shut up
Let's
since
do
we
a
started
math.
talking. Oh, I'll try that. It works.
What is she doing? What?
When song gets stuck in your head,
Oh,
I feel like it has been nonstop since I saw this movie.
a guy I used to work with taught me the tip to try. A good way to try to get a song out of your head is to imagine if Bob Dylan was singing it. It usually works.
Step in time.
Yeah.
That's a terrible Bob Dylan impression.
I mean, Bob Dylan does a terrible Bob Dylan rendition these days, right? Am I right?
Whoa. Shots fired.
I don't know. I just heard that.
Admiral Boom over
Boom
here.
over
I don't
here.
know. I don't even know. I have no skin in this game. I'm just told that
Maybe.
like now in his later years he doesn't try that hard, right?
I think his voice is gone.
I'm
right?
sure it is.
He's doing stuff.
But he I feel like I always hear that when he sings now, it's sort of like you sometimes have to wait a while to figure out what song he's performing because he's just so like mellow about it.
He's just
I don't
older
know.
now.
Come
right?
at me, Dylan heads. Let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MVPs while we're talking about Admiral Boom.
Yeah.
My Andrew the dog,
Yeah.
Oh my God, such an MVP.
who
Or
Mary
dog,
Poppins can talk to because
MVD.
she can commune with the animals.
Yeah, because she's a
Unless
creature.
Andrew the dog was transformed.
Oh.
Sorry, I just remembered who my MVP was.
Oh,
and I got
nice.
excited about
You
it.
think Andrew was once a creature like Bert and displeased
He's
Mary?
trapped inside of a dog's body.
Maybe
That seemed like a real happy dog, though.
it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
As far as we know, every dog would know her, but we only
That's
got
true.
to see one. Dog.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
imagine your life as the dog of a fancy lady.
Right.
That's
Pretty
a
sweet.
good life.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
And with a cute jacket.
Oh, those
Good
jackets.
jacket.
Oh, and there were so many good Andrew reaction shots.
Yeah, like when they come back out and he's the only nanny left,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
and she's like,
The
"Go,
position has been
yeah,
filled.
the position has been filled." That's
Oh,
great.
right.
The dog's
Oh,
like, "Okay," and like, "Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop."
Yep.
It's
Yep.
great.
So we're saying Andrew the dog is an MVD.
Yeah, MVD.
Mine is the fox that gets chased.
Oh, Irish fox.
Irish fox.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's really cute.
It's
and
really cute. And it gets a candy apple.
It gets a candy apple.
So sweet.
But then also, like, is it dead when it starts to rain?
No.
Oh God!
I don't know. The whole
I
world
know.
starts to like
No,
melt
They
away.
live in Bert's brain,
Okay.
and so he can as soon as he draws out
All
a
right,
thing,
all right.
it's just a portal into
Yeah,
that
I
world.
think the portal gets
That's true. I
straight
guess we
down.
already established that he's brought several women
Been
there.
there before.
Yeah.
Those penguins
Yeah.
are just waiting there.
Those penguins have choreography.
Plus, he would be way sadder when it rained,
That's
right?
true. I suppose. Like, oh, all my animal friends.
All those people. are
Yeah, but the
dead.
decision to make that fox Irish
Oh,
was working class Irish fox was very telling.
yeah, and
It's
like
a lot of class stuff.
literally being pursued by redcoats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yowza.
There's a pipe man that
What?
I really liked.
What?
Speaking of
What?
MVPs.
No, what? No, I'm just serious. When?
Yeah, what are
so,
we talking about?
Bert is escorting the children back, or like telling them about all the other working class
Is
people
this
in the
during the
neighborhood.
fish song?
Yes, it's during the fishmonger's song, the fishmonger's ballad.
Yeah.
No, there's just like he's like shaking hands with
Yeah,
people,
right.
and there's just one guy with like just a big pipe.
Oh yeah.
tongue
And like
yeah.
a weird bag on his shoulder.
Yeah.
What is his
That
job?
kind of pipe. I thought you meant like a pipe like for plumbing.
Oh.
No.
What is that
Ah.
man's profession? I
don't
could
know.
not figure it out.
He's a mystery.
He was like
He's
he
like
was
a doc mystery.
Yeah, he was like weird pants away from being a lute player
Yeah.
in like a Renaissance fair.
Yeah.
What is his
But
deal?
I can also see him like just coming back from the hunt or something.
Yeah. Maybe he's like a candle man. Is that possible?
Sure. That's that type
Is that a
of thing, right?
thing? Is there a candle man?
Candleman? I
Yeah,
don't know.
candlestick maker.
All right.
There's a butcher. There's a baker.
Right.
Yeah, something.
Yes.
Yeah. I loved him. I loved the head of the banks.
Oh my god.
All of them had like aggressive
yes.
Englishman facial hair
Yes.
structures,
Yes.
distinct ones. And they were just all old and banky.
Yeah, and then the cherry on top was when Mr. Banks went back there, assuming he had been fired, and like he walks into the boardroom, or whatever, and it literally looks like it is the Council of Vampires.
Yeah,
It's,
it's
yeah.
kind of red in the
very dark.
background.
Yeah, with like red upholstery everywhere. They're like very harshly lit.
Just gothic looking
Oh my God.
chairs.
And then when they like fire him,
Yeah.
they tear his lapel rose.
Yes.
And then the next move is
Carnation.
they're gonna
Wow.
I just want the listening audience to get a
sure.
good
I was
picture.
wowing Dan's attitude. I agree with you. It's good to tell the truth.
But then the next move is to ruin his umbrella, and the one banker
Yeah,
stands up.
yeah.
Like, no,
Oh,
he's gonna,
the
like-
ultimate
Don't
cut
do
off
insult.
his
that.
hand or
I
something.
know, right?
And then
Yeah.
he says like stay sturdy or be
Yeah,
strong
yeah,
or something.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
very British. It's so good.
Then they punch a
Hold
hole in it.
steady now.
Also, like, what the fuck kind of cult is this bank?
Yeah.
Right?
It really just reminded me of like like anytime you see a bully in like a 90s high school movie.
Yes,
You
totally.
know, where they're like, give me your lunch bag.
Oh,
and,
nice umbrella, dweeb.
and he has to like pick up his books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets his bowler hat punched in. Is the last
Yeah.
one.
He
Oh,
does.
bummer.
But then he wears it all because he doesn't care. He's all happy. He says that he's able to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious successfully.
Nice.
It's a real Fight Club moment.
Yes. Where he realizes
Once
that
you've
Mary Poppins was
lost
him all
everything.
along.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was his split personality.
What?
What? Did you finish describing why the bankers are your MVPs? Or one of your
no,
MVPs?
I was done.
Okay. I have a collective MVP, which is during the Twilight Dance of the Chimney Goblins. There are the guys in the background who
yeah.
clearly didn't make the cut when they were practicing the choreography, like for the actual dance number. So there's just like, and this thing is, I mean, it's like a 10-minute dance sequence, right? At least.
It's real long.
And like, but the entire time in the background, there's just this like series of staggered men with their little chimney brushes, just like pumping their arms up and down like excited children, like getting a piece of cake or
Yeah.
something the
Just
whole
like-
time.
Non-stop.
Hype chimney man.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah,
And
They're
they're
great.
so into it. They're so into it.
yeah.
They love it.
And that's all they do.
That's all they do.
Well, the other dancers are doing good dance.
Yes, they are doing good dance.
What kind of dance are they doing?
Good dance.
Oh, okay.
Impressive dance.
Yeah.
Nice dance.
Nice dance, good dance.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like the one move where they're all like they're handstanding over a gap,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they drop and then
Yeah.
they catch with their feet.
It's
pretty
great.
That's
good dance,
It's a
nice
great
dance.
moment.
Yeah, good dance, nice dance.
You know, we mentioned the color red in passing, and it reminds me about what I mentioned at the first half.
Yes.
And I just want to clarify, like, it did seem like there was not a lot of red in the movie overall.
Yes.
And then sometimes I'd see something that would look red, but then you'd see it later and it'd be more of a dusty orange.
Mm.
And that the overriding color palette was a lot of blues and some purples, golds, yellows. Was really dominated the palette. So I don't know if there was any truth to that red thing or not, but there was pretty limited red,
Maybe.
you know.
Yeah.
So somebody look that up.
Yeah. Tweet at
That's
us.
the truth.
Yes, red. True.
I feel like
No, red. I don't know. I'm
at one point in time the hashtags that we made up made sense.
Sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about hashtag I haven't read the book?
Oh,
What
what,
is it?
spell it without an A?
Yeah.
But what does that mean?
I don't know. It means like, does the book match the movie?
But
But
does
they
that
haven't
answer
read
your
the book.
question?
Book match.
What book?
Mary Poppins the book.
So in the book, you're saying this woman wrote like, and there was no red to be found anywhere in town,
Yeah.
and no cartoonish animals anywhere.
Better dead than red.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I will look it up and I will put it in the newsletter.
Oh, great
Yes.
idea.
Hey,
Under
did you
Totes
know that we have a
Regrets.
newsletter?
Hey.
Hey, how do you subscribe to that?
Justigal.com,
Yeah.
Scroll down, figure it out.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a sign up form there.
Or just slide into our DM and ask.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, we'll
slide
send
into
you
our DM.
we'll send you a link to
I
it.
certainly
If
send
you're
you
like,
it.
hey, I want to personalize not a personalized link, but like I would like you to personally send me a link.
Yeah.
We will do that.
We'll
Or
personally
just,
invite you to our newsletter.
Yeah.
slide in that DM with an email address. We'll
Yeah.
sign you up, right?
Sure.
Yeah, we can do that.
That's fine.
If we have your permission. Yeah.
Molly, do you have any MVPs that we haven't
No.
mentioned?
No. Mm-mm. I thought they were all great.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
no, I thought they were great. I really liked the two Robins. And
Yes.
I did like when the cook said, hush up, the master says you got to be quiet. And they just sort of have like this little sound that the birds make. And I love it.
Oh, yeah, that was really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, I picked the animals. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. The I have two things to say about the head vampire /
Yes.
head bankmaster.
I love it.
One, why is he played by Dick Van Dyke? Is that just because Dick Van Dyke's fun,
It's
or
because
is
of the
there
legs.
Yeah.
something there?
Physical comedy.
He's
Yeah.
just talented.
But it's not.
Oh.
There's not like they're not implying some connection between Bird and him.
You
by
know, I
having
was
this-
trying to think of that as I was
Oh.
watching it, and I don't see it.
Like,
I
is
was-
this? Are they twin brothers and they've diverged on the path?
Oh, and one is that's his mortal brother who's aging and
Yeah,
has
well,
gone
he's-
with.
And
the-
that's why
he's
he became
aging.
king of the vampires.
He's crushed under the weight of capitalism.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Bird is
Sure.
just the freer one, and they're really the same age.
The real answer is because I was just reading about this.
Oh.
He apparently like insisted on it. Dick Van Dyke did. Like he really wanted to play the old man.
Oh, fun.
Like to the point where he had to like, yeah, he basically like had to convince them to let him do it. I don't remember the details. I could find the article, put it in the newsletter.
there you
Oh.
go.
But yeah, he apparently just really wanted to also play the old man.
Well, it is. There's a delightful little treat at the end of the credits where they
Yes.
credit the banker vampire master.
Mr. Dawes Sr.
Yeah, Mr. Dodd Sr., and they have like a word scramble, and at the end it reveals that it was Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
Yeah.
is
Surprise.
fun.
To be fair, when I was a kid, I did not realize it.
No.
I didn't
Not
realize
at
it.
all.
Even after you told me, I was like, are you sure?
The makeup's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like now as an adult, I'm like, oh yeah, it's just Dick Van Dyke hunching over with a cane
Yeah.
with a bunch of makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently he is in the new movie
Oh.
again playing an old man, except he is now actually an old man.
Wow.
Oh.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
A sidebar, and this is kind of a shut up nerds moment, but what's Dick Van Dyke's deal?
What do you mean?
Yeah, the Dick Van Dyke Show.
He had a show,
Right.
which was what, like a variety show?
It was
No,
a
it's like a
sitcom.
sitcom.
It's a sitcom. So he's a comedic.
He's like a
actor,
very
song and
famous
dance guy?
comedic actor. Yeah.
Okay.
Very his show is the famous scene in the opening, like during the opening theme of the Dick Van Dyke Show is he would be walking through his living room and he would trip over the
Ottoman.
So he's like always been a physical comedian.
He's a
And
delight.
I
He's-
watched
He is a
an
delight.
episode, and they mentioned that you'll notice that the outfits are the same because they shot the open the same day they shot this particular episode. It was like episode 3 or 4 or something.
Oh.
And sure enough, is Donna Reed in it? Does she play his
I
wife?
don't
I think.
remember.
I think it's Mary Tyler Moore.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Mary Tyler
Yeah.
Moore. Yes. Anyway, so and it's true, their outfits match. So it's funny that they just filmed the opening one
Yeah.
day. It wasn't like they had a whole special get a special wardrobe and do everything. They're just get it done.
Do you think that he was just like goofing around for the audience and they were like happen to have the cameras on? We're like, oh shit, put that in the opening.
No, I don't know. I just think they're like, oh yeah, we got to shoot the open.
Mm-hmm.
Where now it would be like a whole thing, like Friends dancing in a fountain.
Oh, was that just a particular episode? And then they were just
no,
like, yeah, put it in
no,
the
I
opening.
just mean that they had to come up with it.
That was me clapping like
Dun, dun,
friends.
dun, 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 yeah.
Quick sidebar: $1,000 a month Patreon. We will start the spin-off podcast, Big Friends Bang, where we
Yeah.
watch Friends and Big Bang Theory in tandem to determine once for all if Big Bang Theory is the Friends of the new millennium.
Yeah.
Great.
Man, if
Great.
we don't get funded soon, we're gonna have to add a third sitcom.
Oh God.
Wait, why?
I don't know, 2.5 Men or something. I don't know.
Oof.
Wait, why after third one?
Because
Just-
time is going on.
2.5 Friends Bang.
Oh, just sweeten the deal?
Yeah.
No, just because time is moving on.
Oh, because Big Bang
It's
is about
less
to not
timely.
be the sitcom
Oh,
of today.
yeah.
Still on.
It's still on, but it's on its last legs.
Sure.
I mean,
mean,
it's
last
like
legs.
well past Chandler and Monica. getting
Last legs
married.
in that they're all making a shit ton of money and have just decided to end it on a
Yeah.
high note.
That's how Friends ended too, right?
I don't know.
Well, I guess
Well,
we
find
won't
out
know unless.
On
Okay, I
episode
get
like
you.
900.
Yeah,
of Friends Bang. So the other thing I'll say about head vampire banker is he drank milk.
Oh
yeah.
We have to talk about it.
Yeah.
We all got very excited when we
Yeah.
saw that.
Another evil character drinking milk,
Mhm.
since milk is gross.
Is he
I-
evil
In
or
adults.
just corrupted?
I honestly am blown away by that because
The milk drinking?
yes,
Uh-huh.
because when it first came up, it was I remember who I was trying to think of the second time that I saw someone drinking milk, and it wasn't in a movie that we watched, but it was Get Out. The one of the characters is drinking milk.
Oh, yeah.
And until we talked about that in the Psycho episode, I'd never noticed it. But evil characters do drink milk.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah, because I think it is kind of like what Dan said. It's like it sort of like infantilizes them in a weird way where they're like not quite developed properly or something.
Creepy. Or, oh man, the best use of milk drinking for a character is Get Out. No, not Get Out. Sorry, you just said that. It's Let the Right One In. The original Swedish version, anyway. I think it's Swedish.
I had to come in.
Is that what it actually is?
It's pretty close.
Pretty close. But in it, like, this girl's dad, who's very protective of her, is in a scene where he goes into a bar and he drinks a glass of milk. And it just sort of seems like a creepy, sort of interesting character attribute.
Sure.
But then at the end of the movie, sorry, spoilers, you realize he is in fact not her overprotective dad who's worried about her dating someone. He is her former friend and lover who has just aged and is about to die and is watching himself be replaced by another kid. And so him drinking milk is like a total tip off.
Like he never grew up completely.
Yeah, he never well, because he got arrested development basically, but his body kept aging.
Yep, just like Mr. Dawes Sr., who chose not to live the life of a forest nymph like his brother Bert.
Yeah, he abandoned nature behind and took on the
wealth.
trappings of the city as well.
Oh, so I
Yep.
guess Bert really was speaking from experience when he said he was like a caged bird. A caged bird.
Shit! It all fits. Okay, this reminds me, I have one more aspect of the theory of Mary Poppins universe. Okay, near the end, after Mr. Banks has like finally successfully said supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, right? He's wearing his hat's all askew. He's coming back. They're like, oh, when they think he's missing, the cop is like calling his constable, and the help is like, oh, check this one spot by the bridge. That's a good place for people to like kill themselves. Which, Jesus, Ellen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Ellen,
Come on.
settle down.
come on.
But there's a line where one of the kids says like when they hear him singing as he's coming back to the house, they say it doesn't sound like father. And I wonder if that is because he was replaced by Mary Poppins. Like she created a new father to bring them a joyful life so that she could leave, and that he is actually just some sort of like homunculus under her thrall.
Okay, I do not like this theory as much as Bert as the bookend that is the closer on the introducing them each to their humanity and their
But
empathy.
maybe the ritual that the
So do you
vampires
think
did.
that people can't change, that it has to be a mystical force not only influencing them but replacing them with some sort of meat puppet animated by magic.
I'm not saying people can't change. I'm just saying
Bankers can't. Destroy the system.
that is maybe what I'm saying. Destroy the system. They're all heartless vampires. They will destroy you. They will destroy your
Yes.
umbrellas.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I grew up on.
Yes, rise up, become a one-man band.
Yeah.
A suffragette.
Hide all your money
Yeah.
from the government.
Hide all your money from the government.
But also give it away.
Yes,
know.
gain control of the government as represented by Mrs. Banks.
Yeah.
Like, get representation for yourself militantly and violently.
Yeah.
If you have to, yeah.
Rise up
Throw
against the authority that is holding you down.
Yep.
And then fly away into freedom on your talking umbrella.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to mention, speaking of fighting for freedom, that there is a beautiful moment at the end where Mrs. Banks lends her sash to be the sash on the kite.
Yes.
Which physically actually would prevent the kite from flying,
What?
but is a beautiful symbolic
would?
moment.
It's not a
Because
nice tail.
It's a beautiful tail, but the problem is that that kite is so lightweight, like it's made out of like.
Saying the ribbon's too
Yeah.
heavy.
But it doesn't matter.
Okay.
For the metaphor, it's beautiful. It's so sweet that she offers that. And also this clearly, easily, quickly, among the most quickly and most thoroughly passes the Bechdel Wallace, I think, of most movies.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know, it's really helpful to me to see
Yeah.
a film from 1964
Yeah.
just like easily overcome that hurdle.
Yeah. Like it's possible. It was possible.
Very easy.
Do you think her offering the sash for the kite was like a metaphor
The symbolic.
for her?
Also supporting. Yeah. Also coming together with Mr. Banks.
Right.
Right. Mr. Banks mends the kite.
Right.
And she contributes, but she's also sacrificing and taking, you know what I mean? Like she's just sort of, I don't think she's giving up the suffragette
Okay,
movement, but
that's
she's
what I wondered.
making,
She's
no, I don't
sharing
think
it with
she's
her
like-
family.
But she's like sharing it. She's like, yeah, they're becoming a unit as opposed
I
to
guess they did
two.
say that she like would hide it from Mr. Banks because
Yeah.
he didn't like the
Yeah.
movement because it was so.
So scandalous.
know,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
All
loud
right,
and
all
Yeah,
proud.
right.
now
Yeah.
she's like
Loud and proud.
flying it out in the sky
it.
for
Yeah.
all to see.
I got it.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So-
no, I didn't think she was like turning because woo, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Some
got.
real patriarchy.
I did get nervous when she pulled it out and just like, here, let's just use this and the thing that I've been wearing constantly for the
Yeah.
entire movie.
She's just also spending,
I
coming
see.
together,
Okay.
Yeah.
having a moment with the
So
family.
now the Bankses are the most progressive family in London town. Is what
Basically.
I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's-
Although I think once
But
he
also
becomes
he's
a partner in the bank
Vampire
again,
Bank. Yeah.
I'm kind of a little
I
concerned.
mean,
he'll
once
just
that
go
blood
back.
ritual starts the next night,
Exactly.
the next full moon,
He's
by the way.
murdered the king vampire. That is how the system works. You rise as far as you can to the top and then destroy those who are still above you.
Wow.
Before we get to our final ratings of the movie, we like to read a review of our podcast, Totes Recall. A maximum 5-star
Yes.
Yeah.
review
Yes.
of our podcast, Totes Recall. In the impression of a character from the
May
movie.
I do this one because I feel
Yes,
like I
please.
so rarely can nail a character, but I
Please.
really feel like I've got the
I
chimney
want
sweep.
this to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he
I
started
mean-
talking, I was like, this has to be Molly Chase.
We did talk about how this is how all Americans learned how to speak.
Yes.
in
Yes.
Okay, English
This
accent.
was
All right.
everyone's
Yeah.
source of an English accent was.
There's no way that I've got it because they say governor like a billion times.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
So like that's definitely where people get it from.
Yep. So we have one.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Molly will now read it.
Terrific. All right. This from Shabby Snake_Raven from the USA. Oh, all right. 4 hosts, good mix of opinions. No one is annoying. Oh, thanks, mate. Voice mod intro is weird but funny. Good variety of movies. My only criticism is that they put an episode out weekly. Monthly. Thank you for putting out a fun and member-berry podcast.
What were those words?
It doesn't
even?
matter. You know how Cockney accents are. There's the Cockney rhyming.
It's a rhyming
yeah,
slang?
It's a rhyming
Okay.
slang. Yeah,
But truly, thank you. That is
yeah,
so
that was
kind.
very
you.
nice of you to say that none of us are annoying.
Phew.
Ooh,
It was really awesome.
yowza.
You really can't ask for better in a podcast.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we're certainly not informative.
certainly not.
I feel like
Although,
I
I don't
learned
know.
some things.
we
Yeah,
are.
I
We
feel
got
like
some
I
stuff.
feel like I've created a perfectly airtight universe that Mary Poppins exists in.
Yeah.
And I think, judging from the screen name, Snake Raven, they
Yeah.
will
They're into
probably
it.
agree
Yeah.
with it. So thank you, Snake Raven. If you'd like to hear your review read, leave it.
Where?
Where?
Apple
On
Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts.
Or?
anywhere, but then slide into our DMs.
And tell us about it.
Hashtag I left it somewhere else.
Or tweet at us.
Or tweet us.
Either way.
Yeah, that would be great.
Like, you don't have to slide into our DMs. First of all, because that phrase is very uncomfortable to me.
Yeah. It's intentionally uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Well,
No
it's
one-
a little intimate.
No
Yeah.
one ever meant it not as a creepy joke,
And
right?
they meant it at least to suggest intimacy, like Molly's saying, which means it usually is uncomfortable because it's like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the phrase for DMing someone? I guess just DMing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
What?
don't modify it. I was going to say the non-creepy
So what
version.
DM stands for?
Sure.
Don't
Yeah.
modify.
Don't
Yes.
That's right.
We're so tech savvy.
Well, Web 2.0 over here. Dan, you gave it 4 all right chimney sweeps.
All right.
And I can't read my note. Oh, you were maybe worried that it wouldn't be as charming as you remembered.
Yes.
Maybe a slog.
Yes. Okay. I mean, it was very long. And I think if we had been recording this at like 2 p.m. on a Saturday, I would have been like, all right, this is a real chimney of a... I don't know. I do think it's very long, and there are like 1,000 songs in it. And like as an adult, I could see, like, especially if I was an adult bringing children to watch this, I might be like, oh boy, are we really, do we got to sing the chimney song again?
Yeah.
But it was still very charming and so delightful. And those kids were so goddamn cute. I can't
cute.
even deal with it. So I'm going to say 4.5.
Oh.
So it'd be, all right, chimney sweep 4 times. And then I guess just like, all right. Like the last one just being like, okay,
All right.
all right. Thank you for chimney sweeps.
Great.
Great.
Beth, you gave it 5 because it's your mom's favorite movie,
Aw.
and you like your mom.
I do.
Hi, best mom.
Hi, Beth's
Hi,
mom.
best mom.
Yes, I really.
Beth's mom or best mom?
Ah.
My mom also listens to podcasts.
Awesome. Hi, Dan's mom.
Hi,
Dan's mom or
Dan's
mom.
Nope.
Dan's
Mom?
mom.
Dan's mom.
is she a dance
Right.
mom?
She a dance mom?
She a good dance, nice dance.
She's a good dance. Nice hit.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I love this movie. I couldn't stop singing along, and I apologized for doing that because I
was great.
like all the songs. And I said at one point that I think Mary and Bert have the healthiest relationship of any
Yes.
movie I've ever seen. I loved it. 5. All right, chimney sweeps.
Great. Yeah, just to tag on that healthy relationship, there's a moment of realizing how low the bar is,
Yes.
right? How low the bar
Yeah.
is
Yep.
for men, where she's singing the praises of Bert.
Oh
And like a couple of the points are like how she's safe with him. He never pushes his advantage.
Yep.
And like
Oof.
basically like you, unlike other men,
Yeah.
don't try to assault me when
Yeah.
we're alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Ooh.
Good job, Bert. Hey, other men. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Or as the suffragette song says, you're great individually,
Oh, yeah.
but as a group, come
Rather
on.
stupid.
Very stupid. I
Rather
think it's
stupid.
the
Oh,
phrase.
that's it.
rather
You're
stupid.
rather stupid.
And it
See, I
does
still
not
can't say-
rhyme with anything. They don't even try.
Yeah, they just want to
They
call
just
men
make the
stupid.
point.
Yeah.
Hey,
Think about it,
who
man.
doesn't? I gave it 4, thinking it would be perhaps more delightful than when I saw it as a kid, and can't remember my opinion of it when I was a kid. Yeah, I liked it. It was very long. I got tired, and like at one point I realized there still was a kite scene,
Yeah,
and I was
yes.
like, "There's still the whole kite scene." But I didn't realize that's just like the tag at the end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll join Dan on the 4.5 island and complete his all right with a
Oh,
chimney
nice.
sweep.
Yeah. Friendship.
Yeah. That's me. Molly, you gave it 5 and you're hoping for magic.
Yeah. I think
Did it deliver?
it did, and sometimes it over-delivered.
Whoa,
I felt
what?
that there were times I was like, wow, we are still here. This is still happening.
Oh, like a certain scene?
Yeah, there was just a few places. And when she sang that lullaby, when she sang
Yeah.
it, I really...
Lullaby.
A lullaby, all right. I really, really wanted to fall asleep.
Uh-huh.
So I think that's just something about my headspace in watching it.
Also, just the power of chaos magic.
Yes, yeah, for sure. But there were so many little bits that I had forgotten about or didn't have the full context for that were really fun. We should mention there were 0 minorities anywhere in it,
Yeah.
which I think we
Correct.
kind of knew going in. But I did appreciate that it was, in a lot of ways, kind of an interesting feminist, working class, kind of interesting take.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, great. You know what? 5.
5 what?
All right, chimney sweep.
Yay.
All right.
Did you just add an S at the end?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure.
Wait,
It's
wasn't
really
an S
like
at the end?
The grade is all right, chimney sweep.
I thought it was an S the whole
But then
time.
when you make it a plural, because you have more than one.
I thought it was plural the whole time.
Maybe
Whoa.
it was.
What, the whole thing? No.
Oh, I guess like you were saying
One,
the unit.
One unit,
A unit
is
is
an all
all
right
right
chimney
chimney
sweep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
what I
that.
mean.
Once
Yeah.
you got to 5.
You have
Yeah.
to say chimney sweeps.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Everyone's right.
Oh,
And I
how
think
nice.
that's the magic of this
Aw.
movie. is-
Everyone was right in this movie, actually.
Yeah.
Right? Because even at the end, the bankers were like, hey, it's fine. My dad died in laughter. And also, you get your job back.
And we all learned, you know what? That is hopeful because they all learned to laugh and they were all out flying a kite
Yeah.
in the business day.
In the light of day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in
Which
their
means
suits.
the
Daywalkers.
Yes.
Oh, yes, they are
The curse is
daywalkers. Or the curse is broken. Ooh, it's up to your interpretation. Either the
Yeah.
curse is broken or they are indestructible daywalkers. And now that Mary Poppins is leaving, they're going to overrun London with vampires.
Yeah. The only thing that can stop it is the bird lady.
Oh,
cool.
And she's probably an angel, right? All
Yeah, or
those
like-
feathery
or-
wings around her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like a spooky ass like old school angel, not
Yeah.
like something where you'd like not some stupid like chubby cherub kid.
No, it's
like,
like
a
a
real
flaming sword.
no, like a
and shit.
real ass angel that scared the shit out of shepherds that has like 18 heads and like 1,000 flaming wings. I'm telling you, man, mystic creatures incredibly dangerous, even if they're on your side.
Be careful,
Be
everyone.
careful out there.
Watch
But
your
also
backs.
go see Mary Poppins Returns in your second run theaters. You're welcome, Disney.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.